It's time to sip that coffee, get your mind right, and vibe with the queen herself. We're dishing out hot topics, wellness tips of the day, and things that make you go, Let's get this palace party started.
This morning, the growing mystery surrounding the death of an American influencer while she was vacationing in Tanzania with her fiance.
We just want the truth. We just want to know what happened.
The parents of Ashlee Robinson, known on social media as Ashlee Janae, speaking with ABC Philadelphia station WPVI after learning their daughter died at a luxury resort in Zanzibar. It happened just days after celebrating her 31st birthday and getting engaged to her boyfriend, 45-year-old Joseph McCann.
She was happy. This is what she wanted. She was starting the next chapter of her life.
All right. Let's do a mic check. Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I see it. You guys are saying, listen, there's no sound. We're going to try to reboot in real time. Oh, you could see it. You could hear it. Y'all got to y'all threw me off. But listen, we are talking all things Ashlee Janae. And baby, when I tell you I have a powerful update, I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there. I believe Ashlee did die here in her room. That's it. That's all. I believe Ashlee passed away in her room. I'm going to walk you through the why of that. But the bigger question is, why are they lying to us? Write that down. Why are they lying to us? Okay, hold on. We got somebody here. T. Morgan. T. Morgan says, man, that white man killed my friend. Welcome, T. Morgan. Before I get started, can I ask you, are you close with Ashlee? I'm going to assume, oh my God, T. Okay, T said they're lying because he paid them off. T, I'm with you. I'm going to walk it down. T, I am with you. Welcome, T. I'm going to assume that you are a good friend of Ashlee's because you're using personalized language. Why are they lying to us, y'all? Yes, T. Morgan is Ashlee's friend. It's on record and has known her since elementary school. We got your back on this, T. We got your back. Now, listen. We covered the Shanquilla Robinson case very, very closely over here. Very closely. And I'm going to do my best to give Ashlee her due diligence. I'm not letting it go. Because it never made sense to me, y'all. It doesn't make sense. And it hit me last night at damn near midnight. I knew they were lying. Listen, some of you don't let anybody play in your face regarding your intelligence. What the old folks used to say, if it doesn't make sense, it's because somebody's lying. It didn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. It never has. Okay. Now, what I was able to uncover is jarring. Is very jarring. Okay. First of all, here's a couple of things that we're gonna talk down, run down. We're gonna talk about her dad going to DC. We're also gonna go back to that hospital report. I couldn't. We're gonna go back to that hospital report, and we're gonna go back to that Butler. Shanley, say thank you, Queen, for covering this, for continuing to cover this young lady. Absolutely. It's my due diligence. I think when you have a platform like this, and yeah, we like to get into the gossip and the entertainment of it all. But if you're ever given an opportunity to make a difference in somebody's life, now's the time to do so. And that's why we're covering it. T. Morgan, who's Ashley's childhood friend, says, thank you. If y'all don't believe me, if y'all don't believe me, my Instagram is the same as my tag here. It's fucked up. I feel her parents are scared as well. Yeah. Let me highlight this comment. I'm gonna come back to it. I think so. We're gonna talk about the parents not going to Zanzibar. We're gonna talk about the journalist. According to a source, the journalists have been instructed not to cover this story. According to one of my sources over there, the Somali Queen did a really good job of telling us that they lied and that it's a huge cover up. But now, y'all, the journalists over there are scared. They've been instructed not to cover the story, and they're going to comply. There is huge sanctions that they've been threatened with if they cover this story. So if you go back and backtrack, they have not covered this story since day 3 over there in Zanzibar or Tanzania. And as a matter of fact, they're saying Tanzania is saying it didn't happen to us. It happened to you. We not in it. T is saying Joe McCann sacrificed my friend. He sacrificed my friend. Listen, I knew that beautiful girl did not go there to kill herself. Joe is a frequent visitor to Zanzibar, is being alleged. Joe has connections over there at that resort. Here's a couple of things we're going to run down. And then I'm going to allow T to come up if she would like to come up and just kind of give us a little bit of her history with Ashlee and describe the young lady that she knows Ashlee to be. I'm a power through mine really quick. I want to talk about the dad going to the DC. I want to talk about the father going to DC. I want to talk about the room being in Ashlee's name. I want to talk about the initial hospital report. And then I'm going to tell you why I know Ashlee was dead. Thank you in that room before they even got her to the hospital. You're absolutely welcome, T. She said, thanks, Sheba, for covering this and not just speaking. Her preference has nothing to do with her life. Let's be very clear. I wouldn't give a damn if she dated elephants. She has a right to be what she wants to be. She has a right to live her life and go out and date and have fun. And she should be able to do that without anybody playing God in her life and deciding when she lives and when she dies. And Black folks, y'all gonna have to do better. Y'all gonna have to do better. We're some of the tackiest people when it comes to our own. And ladies, we're gonna have to do better too, because we do the same thing. When Black men are unalived by their partners who are not Black, we're just gonna have to, if we can't say anything nice, we're just gonna have to zip it up and be quiet. But to insinuate that she doesn't deserve to be here on this earth because of her preference, y'all, that's nasty work. And be careful what you send out, because you never know how it shall be returned unto you. So we're not talking about our preference, because that doesn't matter at all. Y'all are quick to say protect Black women. We're trying to. We're trying to get the word out. We're trying to apply pressure. And we got to do so in decency and in order. You got to keep the main thing the main thing. Hell, if we don't show up for each other, who's going to show up for us? So let me just say this real quick. Shout out to Tide. There is a lady that came up here a couple of days on this platform, and she says, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. She never said where she was from, but I know she's from a foreign country, and maybe she's from Zanzibar or Tanzania, and she didn't offer that, that piece of whatever information just to protect her safety. But she said, Queen, Y'all need to be asking, when was the last time Ashlee was seen alive? Because I don't believe that Ashlee was alive when security knocked on that door. And I believe what 24 heard was screams and Ashlee probably fighting for her life. She said, I believe when the hotel got to that villa number 25, Ashlee was gone. The rest is lies. Oh, I bumped into her in the dark. Why the hell would Ashlee Janae? Listen, shit, I don't even go outside on my own street after dark, and not because it's not safe. Let's be very clear. I don't see a young lady who had to be separated from her fiance because they were, remember, the hotel was worried about her well-being. So why would she go out? And if you understand how the resort looks, why would Ashlee go out just to rummage through the tropics by herself? We're talking snakes, mosquitoes, spiders. And he bumped into her in the middle of the night because it was night. And she said, oh, yeah, listen, I need a charger. So no, Ashlee had way more sense than that. Black girls are savvy. We ain't outside at nighttime in no damn foreign country looking for no damn charger. Follow me very closely. Listen to me. We got common sense over here. Security allegedly separated them and they moved Joe to Villa 65. They allowed Ashlee to occupy the primary room. Let's just go with the theory of the hotel staff. She was still alive. We asked Joe to leave. We left Ashlee, and actually they didn't say they never said she was alive, actually. They said we separated them. The butler is the one who gave an indication of life, but the hotel statement never said she was alive. Oh my God, go back and look. They said we separated them. The butler is the one that kind of threw the monkey wrench in the story by saying, oh, I bumped into Ashlee in the middle of the night. She was asking for a charger. I know you lying. This is an influencer. I'm a woman. I'm a middle-aged woman. I know you lying. Baby, we got battery backups. We got backup chargers. Ashlee does brand deals. You can't tell me Ashlee had one cord in that room. I know you lying. Not the way we operate and these young folks operate today. You a damn lie. Now I know you lying. That girl had some backup charger. It ain't even about the charger. The point is, if you move Joe to Villa 65, and if you left Ashlee in Villa 25, watch this, why would Ashlee not have her belongings? Because you've allowed her to stay in the primary room. Now, had he said we move Ashlee to Villa 65, then I would believe the story about the charger, because you know what? In a frenzy, she may have forgotten. Oh shit, I forgot to throw my charger in my bag. Excuse me, sir, do you have a charger? Sure, I got one. I don't believe that story. She's in the primary room. If anybody forgot their charger, it would be Joe and not Ashlee. That's the first thing. I don't believe the story about the cord. I don't believe a black girl's walking around in the middle of the jungle looking for a charger. I don't. And you just happen to save the day. It's too convenient. So it goes back to the question that Tide had was, can we prove that Ashlee was still alive? Can we corroborate your story? Where's the proof? How come the police are refusing to release the video surveillance? I need to see Ashlee walking around looking for a charger. I need to see you doing your butler services. Go into room 25, 24, and 26. Now, let me tell you how the rooms are numbered. They are numbered in clusters. I did my research. In the cluster that Ashlee was in, she was in cluster 21 through 26. This is the cluster 21 through 26. Remember that. This is a map of the cluster. If you look all the way down to the bottom portion, This is Ashlee's cluster right here. 21 through 26. Watch this. We're going to go a little bit deeper. Let me give you a better view. Right there at the bottom is 21 through 26, right here. This is Ashlee. This is the cluster. The blue arrow shows that she was right by the beach. You see the beach? Now, this is Joe, 61 through 68. Let me play it again. 21 through 26, we're talking 5 villas. Joe is across the way, 8 to 10 minutes away, 61 through 68. Ashlee's initial room is close to the water. Y'all see that blue arrow? It leads to the beach. So Ashlee had a prime spot. They moved Joe over here. Are you following? And only Villa 24 reported. I believe Ashlee may have not been alive by the time they got to that room. The rest is just fluff. Let's continue. So the butler says, I bumped into her. If you notice, he couldn't give a time. Now we got to get creative. Okay, you can't give a time. Now we got to do our work, because the time of death was 8:55 p.m., according to the police commander. Here we go. Here we go. Follow me very closely. 8:55 p.m., according to the police commander. The butler never said. He said give or take. He did not come back in 10 minutes. I don't believe that anymore. I went on vacation and I stayed at a resort where you have a dedicated butler. Men are not that specific. Oh, it was 10 minutes. Half of them can't even remember their wives' anniversaries and birthdays. Now, all of a sudden, it was 10 minutes, 10 minutes. Now, somebody coached you to say that. But let's take a look really quickly at what time the butlers operate. So if you look at here at Villa Services, here's some of the services that are included with your stay. We have welcome gifts, personalized check-ins and check-outs, personalized villa preparation, afternoon tea, pillow menu, exclusive bathroom amenities, buggy service, arrangements, semi-private beach, and Dow bar, wine cellars, and wide mini bar selections. If we go to the right of the screen and we look here, give me a second. Services, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. Y'all see it? Let me undo it. I probably messed it up by my drawing. I'm not that good with drawing. 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. So we're going to assume that this butler, there is a butler, worked the night shift and he got off at 11 p.m. So I'm going to assume he came in probably about after 11 a.m. His job is to assist daily, to greet the couple when they arrive to the resort. He has, listen to this, a designated, you got to listen to this. This is how we're going to break apart this case. A designated mobile line. Mobile. Sir, you have a whole dedicated mobile line. Why did you run, if your story is true, and you came into the room unannounced, without permission? Because all of a sudden you remembered that Ashlee asked you to come back. You came in, the room was pitch dark. You heard a thud. You pop on the lights. This is his story. You see Ashlee dangling alive. He made it a point to say she was alive, kicking, and you ran and left her there for God knows how long. Hold on. And we may have to bring up Somali Queen to establish the timeline again. And you ran. Now, initially, my initial thought, and you have to go with your initial thought. I'm sorry, but my initial thought period, as a human being. I don't give a damn what country you're from, is why the hell did you leave her up there? That was my initial thought. Some people explained it. They said, oh, in foreign countries, he's a foreigner. He could have been scared. Yo, we're talking fight or flight, y'all. You walking into a situation you've never seen before. You ain't got time to be thinking, am I going to be blamed for this? We're talking natural responses that the body will give. Your natural response as a man is to protect, whether you're dating Ashlee or not. If a woman is strangling or kicking for her life, hanging onto the back of the door, most people, most women would just respond. Oh my God, let me help you get down. Da, 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 da. But no, he said he ran to get help. He didn't use the phone in the villa. And now we know he has a mobile line where he could have called to get help, but he didn't do that. Again, I take your attention back to the designated mobile line. Butlers are available from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. Ashlee's time of death, according to the police commander, was 8:55 p.m. You guys, Ashlee died in the room. How do you know that? I would put my bottom dollar on it. And if Ashlee died in the room, that means somebody's lying. And when I say somebody, I'm going to say the hotel in conjunction with the police commander. I don't think Ashlee is going to get the due justice that's due to her. I wish the parents would have went down there, but maybe they got a heads up. Hey, don't go down there. Don't go down there. I don't know. Ashlee died in that room, and they're lying to us. And let me show you the room again. They moved Joe because Ashlee was gone. The screams, remember the people, 24, Villa 24, said they've been fighting since the day they arrived. They arrived at Zurich April 4th. Prior to being at Zurich, he had her at a different safari, a different resort. Watch this. If you've arrived on the 4th and things were kind of not so good on the 8th, what's the difference between the fights on the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th compared to the 8th? 24, Villa 24 said, hell no. On the 8th, we just couldn't take it anymore. What is it about that fight that is so different? You know why? When you hear a woman screaming, fighting for her life, something's different about this fight, honey. If it were a man and a woman in room 24, call the cops, call the police, call everybody. That girl needs help. Thuds. Think about fist fights. And if the Villa 20, here it is. Now, we're not talking apartment buildings where you're wall to wall. Let me show it again. If Villa 24 could hear what was going on in Villa 25, it was pretty damn loud. That was a fight for her life, I'm going to assume. Watch this. This is the circle. 21. You see how they had to have heard something that was so disturbing. And if you go back and if you listen to the conflicting reports, see the police chief he got paid, in my opinion. Sir, you got paid and you did the best you could with the cover up. But there's still hints of what happened to Ashlee. Because what the police commander said is, Zuri called the police after they got to that room because they were concerned for Ashlee. Let me refresh your memory. Give me 1 second. I'm going by the words of the police commander. Hold on. We're going to go by the police commander first, and then we're going to listen to the parents, and then I'm going to open up the lines for Ashlee's friend only. All right, here we go. We're going to break it down one more time. And then we may need Somali Queen if she's available, because I know there's a time difference. If she's available to come back, because she translated from Swahili to English the timeline that she was able to get from the locals. Here we go. Police in the North Unguja region, Zanzibar, have reported that social media personality Ashlee Robinson, known as Ashlee Janae, a U.S. citizen, died in the hospital after being rushed there. Initially, you don't pay that much attention to that, right? Now I'm looking at that statement a little bit different, because that's a way to establish she wasn't here. She was there in the hospital. Watch this. She was found in her hotel room by a hotel staff member in a hanging position. In an interview, the police commander, Benedict Mapujila, said Ashlee was found hanging in her room on April 8th. He never said the time initially. We had to push them. It wasn't until they got backlash from those of you that are tuned in and people like myself and the friends and the family, then they come up with the timeline. She was rescued while in critical condition and taken to the hospital, where she passed away on April 9th, 2026, while receiving treatment. That's a lie. She was not rescued. I believe she was DOA when she got to the urgent care. Because remember, they didn't take her to the hospital initially. They took her to urgent care. The butler said he didn't rescue her. The butler said he didn't use his mobile phone. He said he ran. She was not rescued. And according to my translator, they left her there for well over an hour before they got Joe and went back to the room. Also, the butler stated, according to the police commander, and we broke down the interview, the press conference, which was conducted in Swahili. The police commander said that the butler reported he initially attempted to enter Ashlee's villa number 25, after he all of a sudden remembered that she told him to come back. Y'all, he did not say that he went back in 10 minutes. You all are saying that he went back in 10 minutes. We broke down the conference room. He said after some time, he went back because the butler said that he got busy and he forgot about Ashlee after giving her the charger. Then he went back and he noticed that the entire villa was dark, and that stood out to him. Watch this. And he decided to use his key, his security key, and enter the room. I call bullshit. The first thing to a normal person, and I've had a butler before, is, oh, they're asleep or she's asleep. She's asleep. What man? I don't give a damn where you are. My mother never entered my room without permission. He entered the room. And initially, he could not open the door. Y'all, we translated the press conference. And what the police commander said is the butler said he could not enter the room. Something or someone was prohibiting him from opening the door. And he struggled with whatever it was. And finally, he was able to get into the room and he heard a thud. Now, my first thing, think like a human being. Don't think where they're trying to take you. Don't follow the narrative that they're putting in your head. If you work at a hotel and you initially attempt to open a door and you feel something, you're going to say, oh, my bad. Somebody's in there. That's not what he did. He said he struggled to get in there. Sir, that don't even make any sense. Maybe she's not dressed and she's like, oh, even if she's not saying anything, somebody doesn't want you to come in. Since when do we force our way into rooms? Not only that, you said you were concerned. But when you got in there, you left her and you ran. Okay, I don't believe you. Now, let's go to the second part of this report. The commander stated Ashlee's body is still at the hospital, and investigations are ongoing to determine the cause of her death. Initial reports indicate that a hotel worker discovered her while cleaning. This was the initial report. They thought they were going to make this go away. They thought they were going to sweep this under the rug, and we were just going to tune off and forget all about Ashlee. Initially, you see how they tried to say? Her room was being serviced. It was being cleaned. And while we were cleaning the room, that means you were cleaning during the day. An alarm was raised and she was taken to the hospital. Now they got to go back and clean that up and say, wait a minute. Cleaning would indicate, shit, we got to clean this up. Those people from the U.S. are pushing back. Joe has created a problem for us. They didn't do the press conference until the 14th, y'all. Ashlee died on the 8th. I know they said the 9th or the 10th. Forget all that. I believe Ashlee died the night that those people in Villa 24 called to report. Now, they can work up and doctor up their paperwork. It's called backlogging. Backlogging. If you're not familiar, ask anybody in healthcare that doesn't operate on the up and up. You can go back and backlog and say anything you want. They backlogged. How do we make this make sense? We can't say the 8th because we have to eliminate or remove any liability from the villa. Why? Because a rich white man, a check, owns it. We can't mess with his money. We can't go pissing off the checks. This is a huge attraction for tourism, right? We cannot put the 8th, even though she was dead in that room. What can we say? We got to go with the 9th or the 10th. We got to say we got her to the hospital. All right. They went back and backlogged. They continue on to say it's about 2 days now. She was found hanging by a hotel staff who raised the alarm. She was rushed to the hospital. The body is still in Zanzibar. And if not yesterday, when today, it would have gone under examination. This is the police commander initially. Listen to what he says initially. So listen, the body, the autopsy was completed. Let me give you the date, on Tuesday. They were done on Tuesday with the autopsy. Here's the thing. They're refusing to release the body. Why? To clean up your mess. The body not the 14th. What's today's date? Yeah, the 14th. No. Today's the 19th, correct? If I'm correct, I think they were done with the autopsy between the 14th and the 15th, but they're refusing to release the body to her parents. Now, let me ask you, what honor is it in refusing to hold a body? It's not. It's considered I'm not going to say negligence. It's rude. If what you say is true and how everything occurred is true, based on what the commander is saying, the hotel is saying, and the hospital, release the body. Release the body. I'll tell you what I said behind the scenes. I think they got a problem. I think the body I know some of y'all are saying organs. I don't think that. You can't send that body back and not intact, because you're going to have a problem from the good old US of A. I think there is an injury, or could be a possible injury, on Ashlee's body that indicate she did not harm herself. And they are probably trying to figure out what to do, or give Joe a head start to get the hell up out of there. Why would they do that? If you received enough money to help him cover up. Y'all, this is way bigger than Joe. This is way bigger than the hospital. This is way bigger than the police commander. Now you're going to deal with the checks. The owner, who owns multiple properties, money upon money upon money upon money, people that have enough money to make a problem go away, including you, your butler, your police commander, and everybody. See, when I am a foreign white man and I can come to a country and strangle and or allegedly suffocate a black chick and pay the hotel staff and slide a little bit of something over to the police commander, imagine the resort owner and how much power he has. He probably doesn't have a dog in a fight. I don't know with Ashlee. Maybe he does, but the problem is way bigger than that. The problem is the financial impact. Joe, when he got there, April 4th, is being alleged he had already lost over how many millions of dollars? At least over $40 million. So now we got two white men that are in a dire state of need. I need this to go away. We're not only talking about Joe, we're talking about the owner of the resort. You must be two kinds of crazy if you don't think that owner of the resort don't want this to go away. And lots of money has been exchanged, because now you're hurting me. And we have to assume that if there's an owner of a resort, that has to be business partners. You can't, I don't think there's just one owner. I think he may be the primary. So now you got investors. Now you have investors. You see what happened to the CEO of United Healthcare, right? That caused United, those investors, to lose over $20 billion, and lied to them and told them that they were not under investigation by the Department of Justice. Did he not come up, assassinated in the middle of the morning? And guess what? They stole over 120 million from, it was three of them. He took the least amount of money and was gunned down in New York City. So if you don't think that these foreign investors and these men don't care about their money, you got another thing coming. If they'll do it to a CEO, you know damn well they'll do it to a black chick from America. You know damn well they'll off a police commander. This is way bigger than Ashlee now. Now you've brought negative attention to me. And if what is being said is true about the resort, where people allegedly to go there, knowingly or unknowingly, girls are taken there to engage in sexual activities. Yeah, they don't want that kind of attention. They don't want that kind of, those men that come from all over the world, they don't want that kind of attention. And let me tell you, things like that do happen. We know it happened with Diddy. Hell, Diddy would take private jets out to go to particular places where you can go and indulge. It's way bigger than Joe now. It's way bigger than Ashlee now. You got privacy. You got people, names you need to protect. The world is way bigger than the US. There's other men, high profile men, that probably visit this resort. They need this to go away. Here we go. Now, listen to this. The commander also said that Ashlee's fiance, Joe McCann, who was traveling with her, has not been arrested. And he adamantly said on more than one occasion, watch this, that Joe was not in the room at the time she was found. Then why did you take him into custody? There is no reason to take a man into custody if you can adamantly say over and over and over and over and over again, he wasn't in the room. That means you know that for a fact. When you go on record, that means you know that for a fact. It doesn't make sense, Mr. Police Commander, to take him into custody if he wasn't in the room. And the fact that you went back a few days later and took him into custody and arrested, or allegedly you're questioning 10 other individuals, this initial report is bogus. It's a cover-up. According to social media reports, Ashlee had recently gotten engaged to Joe McCann during one of their tourist trips in Tanzania. Here we go. Let's look, watch this. Let's go here. As previously reported, Robinson traveled to Zanzibar with her fiance. Family members confirmed the couple was on vacation when the tragic situation unfolded. Police said that the two were experiencing relationship issues during the trip. So now we know. We've established. You know there's an issue. You know there's been an issue since April 4th. They didn't say issue, singular. They said issues, plural, during the trip. So the initial, we know that the couple or whoever was in Villa 24 is correct. They've been fighting since day 1, April 4th. But things got too bad on April 8th. And we had to call security. Because of the relationship issues during the trip, it led hotel staff to step in and separate them into 2 different rooms. We can assume things became physical in an effort to ease tensions. Watch this. There was a disagreement, and the hotel management made the decision to separate them, placing them each in their own room. You mean rooms? Commander explained, he added that the hotel staff later, listen to this, contacted authorities after becoming concerned about Ashlee's well-being. She was dead when they separated them. That's why they called the police. That's why they called the police. Let me read it again. There was a disagreement, and hotel management made the decision to separate them. That's the story we got to go with, right? That's the story the hotel staff has to go with. But then they secretly called the police after they separated them and gave a heads up that we're concerned about the young lady and her well-being. See, if I don't tell you she's dead, I can just say I'm concerned. Even if I know she's already dead, I'm going to go ahead and get it documented that I'm concerned about her. And that's crazy because this is the tiny mistake that the police commander made. He added that hotel staff later contacted authorities after becoming concerned, not after finding her dead. Because if we go with the Butler story, we didn't call the police until I saw her hanging. That's BS. The initial report says that y'all called the police after y'all became concerned about Ashlee's well-being, indicating there may have been warning signs prior to the incident. She was already dead. But I'm not going to say that. I'm going to just say I'm concerned about the lady in Villa 25. So now when we go back and stage the scene, we already told you we were concerned. And we can flip the script anyway. We can say she did it. She wasn't in her right state of mind. But I'm going to go ahead and raise the flag and just kind of put it out there. Officials say Robinson was still alive when police were alerted. How do you know that? How do you know that? She was transported to a hospital for emergency care, but sadly passed away the following day, Friday, April 10th. Watch this. Authorities also confirmed her body remains in Tanzania pending further. So they did the medical examination, which standard procedure before arrangements are made to return her to the United States. What we waiting on? Now, here we go. Give me 1 second. Let's go to the parents. We're going to go to the initial medical report. I want you to listen very closely.
With the latest, Cheyenne.
Hi, Sarah and Brian. Yeah, Ashlee Robinson, she was actually raised locally in South Jersey, and now her death is making headlines across the world. Well, today we spoke to her family in Delaware, who say they aren't getting any answers about what happened to her from officials in Tanzania or her fiance.
My daughter, Ashlee, she's no longer here with us, and we're trying to find out why.
On April 5th, influencer Ashlee Robinson, who goes by Ashlee Janae on Instagram, was celebrating her 31st birthday in Zanzibar, Tanzania. She was on the vacation with her boyfriend of 1 year, who popped the question just 2 days before.
She was starting the next chapter of her life. She called us and FaceTimed us to share with us her travel.
Ashlee's mother says she never would have expected that less than a week later, her daughter would be dead. On April 8th, she says Ashlee called saying she and her fiance got into an argument and were moved to separate rooms.
Can the mom, Mom, I need to know what time she called you. Oh, I wish I could know what time she called her mom. US time. And then we can translate that or transfer that into local time. And I bet we debunk everything that they're saying. See, because only Ashlee know, and only Ashlee's mother know what time Ashlee called. Watch this. This is a small advantage we have here in this case. The butler don't know what time Ashlee called her mama. Joe doesn't know what time Ashlee called her mama. And the police don't know. Only Ashlee's mom, who can go back to her phone record, and only Ashlee know. Let's continue. We're going to bring up the friend in just a second. Let's get through this real quick. Depending on what time she called that mama, we can establish at least she was still alive at this particular time, because we know the butlers work from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. Mama, what time did she call you? You can go under a fake account. Just put it in the chat if you are here. What time did Ashlee call you?
The next day, she received another call, this time from her fiance.
Okay. Mama said, April 8th, I got a call. Now, when mom's saying the next day, she's talking about U.S. time, April 9th. Let me do this. Hold on. We finna get down to this. But mama, I need times on both days. Watch this. Hold on. I'm looking at the time difference. Where's the mom located? East Coast. Okay. I think the mom is located on the East Coast. Am I correct? 7 hours ahead. What time did Joe call you? What time did Ashlee call you? Tanzania does not observe daylight savings time, y'all. So Zanzibar is 7 hours ahead of East Coast and 8 hours ahead of Central Daylight Time. Her dad is in Delaware, so that's East Coast. Okay, let's continue.
He told me that Ashlee did something to herself and that she was being taken to the hospital.
How would you know that if you weren't in the room? When a crime occurs, nobody knows but the killer. How can you know that Ashlee did something to herself if you were in Villa 65? Let's show you the distance. How would you possibly know? This is Ashlee's room at the bottom. Again, I'm going to show you right here. This is Ashlee's room close to the waterfront, 21 through 26. This is Joe's room. How would you know she did it if you weren't in there? How could you even lead with that assumption? Just a question. You don't know. The butler doesn't know. It would be, I found her hanging. We don't know who did what. Let's continue. That's what I'm saying. If you're innocent, you don't know.
Hospital. I said, what happened when? And he told me it had been 11 hours prior.
Hours later, the luxury resort the couple was staying at.
I probably say she died 11 hours prior. If he called you on a 9th, she probably died 11 hours prior.
Called saying that Ashlee passed away. According to the hospital's medical report, Ashlee.
The hotel then called. Listen to this very carefully. The hotel called. Joe called first. They got their stories together. And then the hotel called second. Y'all, let me tell you something. The hotel does not have any business calling anyone regarding what's happening at the hospital. If Ashlee died at the hospital, why did the hospital not make the call? Why would the hotel be able to override the hospital? Wouldn't the hospital know the time of death? That if the hotel called, that means she died at the hotel. Number two, Joe, they got the story together, and Joe gave them your information. We talking a 31-year-old. We're not talking. I get what you're saying. This girl did not list her mom as her emergency. When I went on my vacation, my husband was right there. They did not ask me. I don't recall them asking me for. My husband is my emergency contact. You got to remember, when Ashlee checked into that resort on April 4th, Joe would be her emergency contact. Hospitals don't make calls regarding death. I mean, not hospitals, I'm sorry. The hospital, the authorities would do that. Y'all, not the hotel. You out of order. And if the hotel did it, it's because she died there. The police or the hospital. Hotels do not make calls. Even with Kanika Jenkins, the authorities, the medical examiners make the calls. Y'all don't see this? Right before our eyes. That girl died in that hotel. Thank you. Hotels do not make death calls. Okay, even if it is her emergency contact, hotels do not make those kind of calls. I mean, that's fine. I mean, you know, about the emergency contact, I would have to go back and list and see what I put, but my husband was right there with me. Now, on a cruise ship, when we travel, and I travel frequently, yeah, I'll put my best friend or somebody that's not on the ship with me, but I'm going to have to go back and look and see if I put anybody as emergency contact. But even if, right, that's neither here nor there. I don't want to get stuck there. What I do want to talk about is the technicality, policies, and procedures. Hotels do not call family or next of kin to announce that your loved one is gone. Ashlee, I strongly believe that Ashlee died. It don't matter. Y'all act like listen, I get what you're saying. Oh, this is not the U.S. But listen, we're not the best of the best. There's still rules and regulations. Shanquilla Robinson died. And guess who called? The morgue. Not the hotel. Even though they knew she was dead. So y'all listen, these people are not that far behind. Hospitals or hospitals or the police call. Joe called first. The hotel called second. You're out of order. You don't make death calls. You're not even trained to make those kind of calls. And we know you're not, because if we go with what the butler said he took off running when he saw Ashlee. So your staff is not even trained professionally to host these types of calls. I call bullshit. Ashlee died in that hotel. Ashlee died in Villa 25. We just need to know, did she die? Or was she in the process of having her life taken when the call was made from Villa 24? That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. What I would like to do now, I want to open up the lines for Ashlee's friend. Let me see if she's still here. Ashlee has a childhood friend who's here in the chat. If she's still here, T, I would love to bring you up and get your thoughts uninterrupted. This is only for Ashlee's close elementary friend, if she's still here. Thank you. Takara says, when a death is discovered, a hotel secure the scene and call the police. Who handles the investigation? And that's the police handles the investigation and notify next of kin, period. Okay, T is here. Let me go ahead and put my overlay on, T. Click the link and just follow the instructions. And it's just going to be you and I, uninterrupted. So let me pin the link. Hold on, T. Give me 1 second. Take your time. I got to pin the link to the top of the chat. Give me 1 second. Let me do that to make sure we get you in here safe. Y'all, we're going to bring up Ashlee's friend who's here with us today. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm about to pin it. I'm asking that if you are listening to the live, please don't click it right now. This is only for the friend, close friend of the deceased. Okay. Let's go with it's pinned to the top of the chat. So it's going to say www dot, click that link. I think she was. Ti amo Cristo. This is what I was thinking. She was unalived before they moved him. So T, I'm gonna bring you on. I'm going to introduce you. Nobody can see you, so you're good.
Okay.
And y'all, this
Thanks.
is okay. Welcome, T.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you considering everything?
Ugh. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. We lost like a lot of people from our high school and from our area. So it's like it's insane kind of seeing everything on the internet and seeing like so many different speculations and just like it's insane. It's insane.
Okay, let's start here. Let's start with the good. And give us a
Right.
little bit of background about you and Ashlee's relationship, how you've come to know Ashlee, and bring us full speed from past to present. The last time you talked to her, were you involved with any communication when she took her trip? Did she know she was being engaged? All of that good stuff. We're just going to give you the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll start with this first of all. Me and Ashlee, we haven't talked for a while. Like we would Instagram message each other, like and keep up with each other, but we haven't like I'm not gonna act like recently we have been talking a lot. But I have been watching certain things and I've known Ashlee since elementary school, and high school, from elementary to high school. And a little bit when I was my first year in college, we were hanging out a lot too. This is us. We were like really close. That was my
And
baby.
I can see those pictures. I can see those pictures. She's showing them in the background, but I want to make sure I protect T's identity. So I'm not going to turn the camera on her. I can see everything you're showing, but they
Okay.
can't. But that's fine. I can see it.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. Um, so yeah, Ashlee, I want to start off by saying I know a lot of people are like talking about certain tweets and stuff. Like, first of all, Ashlee dated black men. Like, Ashlee loved black people. She was black herself. Um, it's like that's insane. Like seeing a whole bunch of people like pull little stuff. Like, okay, people say dumb shit when they're younger. Um, and a lot of stuff, recent stuff she was saying and clapping back to people is because they were coming at her most of the stuff. So a lot of people trying to like spin a narrative and things like that. Um, Ashlee was always a type of person who was smart and on point, even in high school through college. Like she wasn't someone where they would just be naive or go off on something. And a lot of people could say, oh, well, people change, things change, but someone's character doesn't really change or who they are, like even at, from their early adult life. Like, I don't get the point where they're trying to say she forgot her charger and all that. Like, Ashlee, even us growing up, us going to parties, us going different places, us staying over people's house, like she never, like when I tell you this girl's phone never died, like that doesn't make sense to me. I feel like someone took her charger, and that's that. And they either took her charger or yeah, that's the only thing that I could think of. Like, I honestly feel like everything was planned. Like, I mean, I've been talking to a few friends. We've been all kind of talking and like, and everyone that's like really close to her family. Um, Oh, I don't even know how to really say this, to be honest.
Let me ask you this. I
It's a
can help
lot.
you out. Let me ask you
Yeah,
this. Why do you
yeah,
I earlier in the chat you said that man, I believe that man paid them off. Why? Let
yeah,
me just ask you this from your perspective and your personal belief. Why do
yeah.
you feel like Joe would be capable of something like this?
Because Joe was a millionaire and Joe knew how to hack into other resorts to get things on TVs and um certain things done to the fact that I know for a fact that he paid them people off. And on top of it, he was going this wasn't his first time going to Africa. He went to Africa multiple times. One of his close friends was an investor that actually invested in the ambulance for them to even have like medical transportation out there, which is fucking crazy.
Hold on. So hold on. So you're saying that he's involved with medical transportation where he and friends have invested to be able to transport people that are
Yeah.
in need of medical care.
Yes, in that area. Yup, his friend. His personal friend.
Do you know who this friend is?
I do not know his name, but I know that is a fact.
Okay. Do you know? And if you don't, that's fine if you don't. Do you believe or know that if this was Ashley's first time traveling with
Um,
him to Zanzibar or Tanzania?
from what I believe it is.
Okay. Do the parents are because some people's like, well, we kind of believe that if you haven't talked to her in a while. I saw the stuff she showed me. But listen, are the
Yes.
parents familiar with you?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Are the parents familiar with you?
Yes. Yes. Like I said, we grew up in elementary school and high school together. They know who I am.
What's
But
something that
her parents, they're going through a lot right now. And honestly, like a lot of people keep commenting on like how strange her mom was acting or her dad, or people feel like, oh, why aren't they all hyping loud? Like, y'all gotta understand, this ain't just someone that's like getting killed, like some neighborhood type stuff, or just around the way, or just a regular dude that killed her over just anger or something like that. Like, nah, this is someone that knows high people in high places. So I feel like they have to also watch what they're saying too. Like, you don't know what could happen to them.
okay. And you said that you and friends were talking regarding what you all believe happened. Let me ask you this, and this is a very straightforward question. Is there a possibility that initially when Ashley met Joe, it could have been a casual relationship? Young, beautiful black girl getting taken out, wine to dine, just kind of courting, not seriously. Some people would describe it as, hey, that's he kind of a sugar daddy. Could and look, we're not doing this to put any emphasis or any negativity on Ashley, but was this a whirlwind romance?
Um, I I mean, we don't know what it started off as initially, you know what I mean? Like she did, she did work in the the bottle industry and stuff. And I know that he was like around going to different clubs and stuff in Miami. They could
Okay.
have met, who knows how they met, but I know that Ashley did love this man now. It wasn't like just, oh, she was just looking at him for a financial gain, because Ashley had, even like us growing up in early college, like she had even high school, she could get whoever she wanted with money. Like she could have had anyone she wanted with money. Like, and she have had anyone she wanted with money. Like, so it wasn't just about money. I believe that Ashley like truly like loved him.
Okay, and my last question for you is based on what you can remember. What type of freedom, some depending on, you know, the level of parenting, and this is not a jab to her parents. We know it sounds like Ashley was a free spirit. Would you say that she had like a lot of freedom to just kind of come and go as she pleased? Was strict parenting household? Give us a little bit about that.
Um, so like I mean, her parents weren't like super overbearing, but they also didn't let her just do whatever she wanted either. Us growing up, like we went to parties, we did everything that normal high school, you know, kids did. We went to parties, we went out. Did we stay out for a whole weekend? No. We would go out to parties. She would go home or she would stay at my house. Like her parents weren't they also made sure they talked to her all the time too. Her mom definitely did.
Were her parents still married when you knew Ashlee?
No, her mom was remarried. And her
Okay,
dad,
so
I believe he got remarried. I think he got I'm not really too sure on her dad. I know she would go see him, but I didn't personally see him all the time. I knew her mom very well though.
when you say her parents, are you referring to her mom and her stepfather?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Because
Anything
that's
else
who
that
she
you
lived
feel?
with. That's what who she lived with and in the state that we were in.
What state were you in?
We were in Jersey.
Okay. Okay. What else would you like for us to know before? I don't want to keep you too long, T.
Yeah, no problem. What I would like to say is that I feel like a lot of people need to just stop coming up with a whole bunch of facts that they really don't know. You know what I mean? Like I really appreciate how you broke everything down and like the research you did and how you didn't just try to push a narrative like that a lot of people are pushing. Like it's kind of messed up just hearing certain things. It's like crazy. Um and another thing I would like to say is that Ashley was a beautiful soul. When I tell you, like she would help give someone the shirt off her back. She was very caring, giving. She had a light about her. She loved everyone. Anywhere she went, she always was a light. Like we all kind of knew she was gonna be some type of famous, you know, just by how she was. Any type of connection she made. And I would also like to let people know as well, Ashley was also a fighter at spirit. So like she wasn't the type, like if a man was disrespecting her, she wasn't the type just to sit quiet or not really do like, look into a situation. Um, she was very smart and she wouldn't back down from anything. So that's what kind of makes me mad about the situation. Because they did find strangulation marks on her neck, but now they're hiding it. And I'm trying to make it difficult. I'm going to show you a little message real quick. I want to take my friend's name off of the thing as well. Okay, here we go. So this is coming from a close friend that is a detective as well in our area. She said the South African embassy is being so shady, acting like they don't want to answer questions, need a high power attorney for the family to get some shit done. And then she deactivated her Instagram a day after she posted that. So, it's a lot going
Okay.
on. And I also want to let people know, like, not to judge her parents, not to judge anyone that's around her, because y'all don't know the severity of the situation. Like you said, Queen Sheba, that is bigger than just Ashley. Is way bigger. Some of y'all got to just sit back and look at something from a bigger view, a spiritual view. Don't just look at things as, oh, it's a young girl that's dating a man that's so naive, a white man that got money. No, it's deeper than that.
All right. And T, how old are you, T?
I'm 29.
Okay. Okay. So Ashlee was older than you.
Yep, she was 2 years older than me.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I want to thank you for coming up and
Yep.
just sharing and giving us a little bit of history regarding your personal relationship with Ashlee, and then running down the type of character Ashlee had and who she is as a person. So thank you so much, T.
You're welcome, Queen Sheba. Thanks for having me up here.
Absolutely. Y'all, that was
Yep.
Ashlee's childhood friend, T. Morgan. Who came up to just give you a little bit of history and give me 1 second. My computer's freezing up. Make sure I get her down safely. Um, just to make sure that you all have a well-rounded view of who Ashlee was, based on her personal relationship with Ashlee during the time that she had it. Now, what I was able to do, thank you. Thank you too. Moderators are working hard. So thank you if you tuned in from YouTube and or Twitter. I just dropped the link in the chat. I want to hear your thoughts for those of you, and I want to keep it to the topic at hand. There's a strong indication that Ashlee died at that hotel. What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts? I'm going to keep the lines open for about 5 minutes. If you're a content creator, if you are just somebody in the audience and you just kind of want to run down your theory, that's fine too. There's no right or wrong here. We are a very diverse community, very diverse. You ain't got to agree. You can disagree. Just keep it respectful. It's a beautiful Sunday. We want to make sure we show up and show out and show that we are adults and we can possess the ability to talk and speak like adults. And that's what we do over here. Let's go to our first caller. Welcome, Somali Queen.
Hey, Queen. Something clicked in my head when you said what you said. And so, you know how the anybody who's watched the Godfather movies, those people, I don't want to say their names. So in East Africa, those guys are known to run casinos, hotels, resorts. MOB. Hello?
Say it again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm trying to. Can you say what you said again?
I'm saying
I
the
got you.
white
I got
people,
you.
yeah, the
Mm.
white folks who run
The checks.
who are in the hospitality industry, who are
Mhm.
doing casinos, resorts in West Africa, are MOB, are from the MOB,
Okay.
and they come from those countries, like the Russians, those. I know a few. I've seen a few. I know a girl who's dating and married to one. So that clicked too when you said that they have to protect the resort, and they didn't say anything about it, and they kept quiet, and the initial report was um, conflicting with the second report that came out from the commissioner.
Mhm.
So I kept on thinking, yeah, maybe, you know, there is a cover up for sure. And then the other thing that popped into my head is, do you think, is it possible that the parents got paid too? That's why
No.
they don't want to go to Africa?
No.
Okay.
I think when the dad probably, this is just my personal opinion real quick, and then I'm gonna go to the next caller. I think when the dad went to Washington D.C. to ask for the US's help, it's because they had hit a wall. I think they were receiving little to no support, help, information from the Tanzanian government. If everything that they're saying happened is true, there's no reason not to give the parents the correct information. Anything that you can do to help, right? Because you are in the hospitality industry. And not only that, whether we are 1,000 miles away or 300,000 miles away, we are kinfolk. Why would you not want to get this beautiful African American girl back home when your government, not your government and your municipality, and you're black, maybe not black American, but we're the same. Why would I not want to help unless there's something to hide? So I think there's a possibility that the US government probably warned them. You can go, but if you go, you're going at your own risk. That's what I think. I'll go to the next caller. Rashid, I want to give everybody about 60 seconds. Welcome, Rashid.
Hey, thanks for having me here. And you kind of already said what I was thinking. So I looked into this case. By the way, I'm in the Netherlands, born in Caribbean, and I've noticed that the media coverage is quite low in this case, even though we're talking about an actual influencer. So, just like you said, I hope I'm wrong, assume that there's a political sensitivity here that both countries want to keep hidden. And that's why the answers are not rolling in as it should. Can you hear me?
Okay, say that last part again. Your microphone is just a little, it's mumbled. It sounds like you're underwater. Back up a little bit and then run it down again.
Okay, okay.
Do you hear me better now?
Way better. Yes, way better.
Okay,
Repeat yourself.
sorry. So, okay, I've looked into this case. I'm an anthropologist with 3 master's degrees. And what I can see here is that this case is politically sensitive because she was an influencer with impact. And it seems like both countries want to minimize the damage here. And that's why there's kind of a fog on what really happens, and there are not any clear answers. So I hope I'm wrong, but that's what it seems to go to. And if that's the case, I'm afraid to say we will not get more answers out of this case, unfortunately. So I
And
wanted to I like that.
thank you, Rashid. That's Rashid. He's calling all the way in from Amsterdam. That's the Netherlands. I agree with you, Rashid. Unfortunately, I agree with you. It's not looking good.
Hmm.
All right, you all. We're going to go to the next caller. Cry Lounge. Welcome. Cree Lounge. Welcome. You're on mute. You have to unmute your microphone. Cree Lounge. I hope I'm saying it correctly. Okay, we'll give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll come back to Cree Lounge. We weren't able to get Cree Lounge's audio connected. Donna, you have 60 seconds. Welcome. What are your insightful thoughts?
Hey, Queen. Hey, Palace. Girl, I'm so glad I caught this live. I got about 3 points real quick. Okay, so when I first heard this and I seen them pictures of her with them zebras, I already knew we had to go to the dark side with this. And I know everybody not a conspiracy theorist like me, but we got to stop being blind to these facts. And most of these influencers out here selling cat. Let's not be in denial about it. I mean, for real. Everybody. That's all what you advertising your body, period. You know? And then, you know, I'm sorry, but I think she really wanted that lifestyle. She was a stripper. She wanted to be with a rich man. She knew what it took. Then they was doing all that arguing. I think she found out he was broke for real after he proposed. And at the end of the day, you know, he was hacking stuff. And she had a video of where they was at a hotel somewhere and he hacked the cable or something so he could watch a game or something like that. And she put on there, yeah, get you a man that's going to hack the system or something. And I think he hacked her phone and saw them messages between her and Kevin Gates. And he got mad and snapped. That's it. That's all.
All right. That's a different point of view. That's Donna. She said, listen, you know, here's the thing. I'm coming from a different angle, and here's what I believe. Thank you for coming up, Donna. Let's go to Little Miss Toot Toot. Sharonda, you up next. Toot, what are your thoughts?
Hey, Queen. I was actually coming up because I agree with Rashid in doing research regarding the country of Tanzania as well as the island of Zanzibar. This is a husband and wife duo. They know what's been going on, in my opinion. What's been going on, as well as what they've been paid to allow to happen on that in those countries. And I just feel like we're not going to get too much justice, and the parents raising what they asked for and did not travel there says a lot that they will probably or could possibly not make it back with their daughter. And I understand a little bit more of how they're moving. And I feel for the parents. And thank you, Queen. And thank you.
All right. No, thank you for coming up. Sharonda TV, welcome. What are your thoughts? Cry Lounge, you're up next.
Hey. Oh, yeah, that's my blender. Hey, Queen. Hey, chat. I had 2 points. The first one is I think they need to get a cadaver dog in that room because if they smell death in the room, that will automatically change everything, that she died in the room. The second thing is if he was able to call her mom or someone was able to call the mom, I'm sure he didn't just have her number in his phone. That means he had access to Ashlee's phone and he probably deleted a lot of stuff and it's just corrupt. But if they can get a cadaver dog in room 24, that right there will be a game changer. And the last question I had.
Room 25.
Oh, it was 25. Sorry, 24 is the room that called. But just get a cadaver dog in there, and that will automatically tell us exactly what we're dealing with. And the last question, it was probably for the friend T. I wanted to know at what age did Ashlee establish her independence? You know, like it's a difference if you leave home at 18 and 24. And that was just a question I had. But other than that, sorry. Great chat, and I think my 60 seconds is up, Queen.
All right.
Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Everybody's so respectful. Real quick, let me go to Winnie. Winnie, welcome. Roberta, you're up next. Winnie, what are your thoughts? Welcome to today's conversation. Cry conversation. I see you. Just hold on. Winnie dropped down. Let's go to Roberta. Welcome, Roberta. We can't hear you, Roberta.
Hey, I keep hearing. Can you hear me, Queen Sheba? I keep hearing the other lady. Her comment is being repeated.
Okay, are you playing the live? If so, you got to quit playing it. Okay, she gonna come back. Let's go to Cry Conversation. Cry Conversation, welcome. You're on mute.
Hey, I'm here. I'm here. Hey,
There you
Queen,
go.
how are you?
Welcome.
So I'm gonna be real quick. I just have a couple of things I wanted to point out that you said. Now, I do agree that the time that she called her mom could possibly bring this thing all the way home. Um, Also, the mom probably knows what the argument was about. If you've been arguing with somebody for 4 days straight, then you're ready to vent. So you're ready to tell it all, like, right? I also think it's funny if he knew he was going to actually propose, why didn't he invite any family, friends, parents, or none of that? Um, and my last thing is I'm not sure if there really was anyone in Villa 24. I don't believe that there was. Where are they at? Have they been questioned? Have they been talked about what they heard? I believe they made that up. I don't believe there was
I think
anybody
so
in that villa.
too. Keep going.
That was it. That was all I had.
Oh my God. Okay, thank you, Cree.
You're welcome.
All right. I thought about that. I said, if all of this is a cover up, could the Villa 24 story be bogus? I just thought about that. Michael Phillips. Welcome, Michael.
Peace, sister. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound great.
Thank you. So I'm a little conflicted because I'm a few months away from turning 60 years old. So I have a viewpoint of of America, so to speak, that maybe people in their 30s don't have. You heard? Um, I don't want to speak about how I feel about the sister's relationship with Joe, but regardless of what I may think or other people may think, that's still my sister. You heard? And she was unalive for no reason. And I'm just, I'm listening to all of the commentary and trying to make sense of all of it. But at the end of the day, she died for no reason. Or I'm sorry, she was unalive for no reason. And her parents deserve justice. And that's pretty much where I stand with it.
All right. Thank you, Michael, for coming up. Listen, at the end of the day, I like what he's saying. Doesn't none of that fluff and all of that other stuff matters. This is a young lady that died. She deserves justice. And y'all, not only that, Tanzania, Zanzibar, you dropped the ball. Give her parents the dignity of closure. I know you're listening. Give the parents the dignity of closure. Get the body home. If there's anybody listening in Zanzibar, in Tanzania, and you know the story is not what they are claiming it to be, give her parents an anonymous communication. There's a way you can make it right, even without exposing your true identity. Welcome, Roberta. What are your thoughts?
Oh God. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Oh, good, because I was hearing the last caller repeat over me, so I had to drop down several times. What I would like to say is, first of all, thank you, Queen. You have always been so thorough. I remember you did the Shanquella Robinson story, and it just hurts me to know that both countries, even though with Shanquella, even though Mexico wanted somebody, wanted the Dejanay to come back, we did not allow her to go back to Mexico so they can do whatever they needed to do. I feel in this case, money talks and BS walks. I don't care what her lifestyle was. I don't care what. She was in love with this guy from all intents and purposes. She was with him for over a year and she wanted to go there. I think because his business dropped, he lost 80% or plus percent of his crypto business. I think he may have gotten a insurance policy on her, and that he had planned to collect, but he meant for her to be found unalived by herself and nobody to find out what happened. He thought he could just go through it and they would help him. Anyway, the parents not going there. I would not go either because it's on the ban list. And why would I go to an area that the U.S. or that's on the ban list to go? They don't know anybody there. They can't trust anybody there. I would not go. I would work with the government to try to get her body back. But I think they're doing something more cynical than just keeping her body. Why won't they let her body go? They say she was strangled. I think she was before the first. I don't know what happened at the first hotel, the Seaval, where the giraffes and stuff is. That was a separate hotel from where she got unalived at. So I'm not really sure about all of that, but I don't care what her lifestyle is. She deserves justice. Her parents need to keep pushing, and people need to keep helping however they can to get that girl's body back to the United States.
All right, that's Roberta. Listen, that's the listen. At this point, that's what we need to happen. I'm gonna have to go with Roberta. We need the body here. That's the way you close the door. Y'all, I got a long line. So if you've come up already, unfortunately, I can't take you. Donna, I'm gonna drop you down because I got a whole long line. I got to get to the rest of them. Okay. So let me get to the rest of these people real quick. We got hey, y'all, stay put. I see y'all. Stay put. Don't drop down and then come back up. I can, because every time you do that, it brings a little bing for me. Winnie, welcome. What are your thoughts, Winnie?
Hey, Queen. I'm sorry, I'm a little hoarse right now. I just want to start off by saying I love you. I always be watching. I said what I said on Saturday mornings. But with this story, I agree with a lot of stuff that people been saying. Dang, I've been over here for so long. I forgot what I was gonna say. I agree with what Donna said. I forgot what she said, but I was like, "Ooh, I want to touch on that." But I can't exactly remember what she said. But I do think because how they were saying that, the whole money thing. So they were saying that he did have a insurance policy on her, and he was in debt like $500,000 or something like that. And they saying that's why everything happened. So I've been listening to the conspiracies about it, but I just wanted to say that. But yeah, she does definitely deserve justice. Like, get that baby back home. Oh, and then like what the last caller was saying about like getting the body back, because they were saying like she was hanging or whatever, but then they said when they did the autopsy, she didn't have enough petechia in her eyes for it to be that. So it's a whole stuff about that too. But I don't know. That's just something to say. But hey, Queen.
Hey. And thank you for coming up, Winnie, y'all. That's Winnie. She said, listen, can we get the body back? Why are you holding on to the body? That's disturbing in and of itself. And y'all, just as a reminder, let's go 60 seconds. I got a whole line of people. Let me go. Hold on. Let me get my next caller queued up. Simone Wealthy, Sexy RM, you're up next. Simone Wealthy, welcome.
Good morning, Queen. Good morning, Palace. Unfortunately, the more I look into this and just research it, I think everything centers around that man, her so-called fiance. I don't trust anything coming from him. He was deeply in debt, and some people, men and women, will do some horrible things when they get indebted, especially surrounding crypto, the business of crypto, and learning more about this resort and the number of quote unquote Russians, Czech, some of these high powered men. I look at this as a whole, like a dark web type of thing. I think that whole engagement was a ruse. I don't think he wanted to marry her. I don't believe any of that. I think, unfortunately, if she gets justice, I don't know how she'll be able to get justice because I don't trust the government. I think they're paying them off to say whatever they need to say to hopefully clear him and cover whoever helped him with that, because I think he did have help. And unfortunately, just, rest in peace to this young lady. And, regardless of whatever situation she was in with him, sugar daddy's type of situation, she didn't deserve this. And I think she totally was unaware that it was of this stuff. And I think that's why they were fighting. I think he was trying to push her and encourage her to do some things that she didn't want to do, and she was just prey. She was prey to them. Thank you, Queen.
Oh, thank you, Simone. All right, that was Simone Wealthy. Let me, Sexy RN, you gonna bring it. I know you got Sexy RN is a cardiovascular nurse, if I'm correct. She helped. Let me save you. I
Yes.
gotta save you, baby. You my one in the chamber because you're gonna bring it all together to make it make sense from a medical perspective. Let me put you go on mute. Let me go to Shakia. Shikia. Give me 1 second. Oh, she dropped down. Queen Tulsa, welcome. What are your thoughts?
Listen, Queen, I want to say thank you so much for covering the story. I feel like you know, what goes on in the dark comes to the light. And I think that people really need to take this into consideration that this woman, they had just got engaged. This was supposed to have been the happiest time of her life. And for it to end so tragically and for stories to just come out and, oh, this was just suicide and things like that and just covering it up. Even with you having guests on and explaining like what that area consists of, how the law works over there, how bribery is a big deal over there. And I think that, you know, we need to continue to keep shedding light on this and keep bringing awareness because this is making no sense for our girls to keep leaving the country and not coming back. You know, I'm tired of them coming back in body bags.
I think that's why they take them out the country because they understand that the probability of them coming back is little to none. And if we can really talk about it, I don't want to do it today. But one of the primary standouts in the Shanquella Robinson case was 85% of Mexico is run by the cartel. And then, I mean, I did a deep dive on that. We tracked the villa owners where Shanquella was murdered, and we found the partners. We found, y'all, this was all tied to like, I'm not going to even say. The point is, I had to back up off of that because it was getting way too deep. The second thing is, there's a lot of femicide that occurs in these countries where violence against women goes undocumented. People turn a blind eye. And it's not, I know we can go back and forth, our women value. It just depends on where you are and what you consider. The metric that we would hold in the US is completely different in a foreign country. But when you find a beautiful young girl in her room that's hanging on a door, regardless of who did it, and you fail to render aid, I think that answers the question of why they take them overseas because they understand that they probably can get away with it overseas. Let me go to the next caller. So let me tell you who I got. Yeah. Okay. Sexy RN. Let me ask you this. Are you good on time? Because I want you to close out the show.
I am. I am.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. You're my medical professional. And when I tell you people really enjoyed you being on. So we got a cardiovascular. Can you give us a little bit about what you do?
Okay, so I am a cardiovascular intensive care unit nurse. I do a lot of just anything open heart, transplants. Uh, I've done a lot of just people, their heart stopped and we're taking care of them, trying to help them revive. I've done even neuro ICU as well, which is neurological. So I do understand that as well. So it's pretty much what I do.
Thank you. And the reason
You're
why
welcome.
that's important, thank you. And the reason why that's important, I wanted to run that down. If you're waiting for a little bit of a medical explanation, Sexy RN was able to break that down, that medical report, what that meant, what those codes are, and say that's not likely because if she was really alive the other day, how come they didn't do A, B, C, D? This doesn't make sense to me. No matter if you're in Africa, Zanzibar, Tanzania, the US, if a patient comes in alive, here are the steps that you should take A, B, C. So we're going to let her run that down again. And let me give you the lineup of the callers right now. We're going to go with Shika. We're going to go with Fatma, Tatiana, and then Lingala. Lingala. I hope I got it right. Shika, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good. What you got, Shika? You got the floor.
Yeah. Can they see me or not?
Nope, I protect identities over here.
Good, thank you. That what I was going to ask you, please. I live in the Sinai, which is part of Egypt. If nobody knows that, it's once you cross the Suez Canal, you go into the Sinai. A year and a half ago, matter of fact, it was election day. An ex-boyfriend had followed me here, beat me almost to death, and thrown the area call.
Okay, hold on. Did her audio
And there's a
stop? Is it me or let's do a mic check? Sheikah,
Can you hear
mic
me?
check.
Can you hear
Okay,
me?
we can hear you. So a year ago, an
Okay.
ex-boyfriend followed you to this foreign country. Go ahead.
Yeah, to Egypt. He holds Egyptian and American citizenship. I almost died. If the Bedouins had not taken me in, I probably wouldn't have recovered. I actually was able to audio tape about 51 minutes of it. I went to the police. The police said, well, he says he's married to you. I'm like, he's never been married to me. I've known him since like 2013. The embassy does not protect you. I want people to understand that. If you go overseas, you're doing it at your own risk. And they told me that. They specifically told me, and I can tell you verbatim, unless you're dead or in jail, they don't intervene. And what I'm not understanding is what use are these embassies? They're not helping protect these women. My last name is also Robinson. I'm the Robinson that actually got to.
I think you're covering up your mic.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go.
I'm actually the Robinson that got to live. And I'm quite older than these girls. And I've been watching this for a while. And it's terribly, terribly distressful to me that these embassies are not protecting us. I called the FBI twice. They don't return my calls. I called the State Department. I couldn't even go to a hospital here because he was friends with a police officer and played squash with him. So yes, these foreign countries, they are very protective. They're scared to touch him because he's an American. It just went on and on. He stole money from me. He pawned a necklace in America. The police aren't helping. It's just like nobody in America cares. And I don't understand where our tax dollars are going to. You know, we can't enjoy the freedoms of other countries and bring tourism to these countries. These men want to take us and beat us. And him too had no money. So I was his ATM machine. So yes, if he killed me, he planned on living off my cards and stuff. And he told me that. Yeah, and I've got it on audio. I've got pictures of the beating. I couldn't go to the hospital. He threatened to have me killed there. He used one of Sisi's ministers in Parliament to that he had gone to school with this woman, threatened me with her that she would take me and have me beaten and raped, and they would never find my body. This is all on audio, and the American government won't even listen to it.
Let me ask you this real quick as a final wrap up. What would be if you could say anything to women who are considering traveling overseas? I'm not going to even say with their husbands, but with the group or with the man that they are dating. What would you say?
I wouldn't do it because the government's not going to help you. And I'm telling you, if I get back to America safely this time, I'm going to make a big scene about this and go public with it because these girls didn't deserve this. I didn't deserve that. And our government, what are we paying our tax dollars for? Why aren't they helping this girl's parents bring her body back? What if my body had been thrown over into the ocean off the cliff where the house was where he beat me? They would have never found me. Who would have cared? And it's so sad. No, we need safe houses in these countries to protect women that have been beaten. And I'm not the only one. I've heard stories from British women here, from Asian women here. It doesn't have a color or a race. I'm telling you, there's some psychopath men out there. And if there's money, even with the Shanquilla case, I think they were trying to rob her in some way and take whatever she had. Did they recover her stuff? I've never heard that they have.
But look, thank you for coming up and listen, prayers to you. I'm going to go to the next caller, but we are praying for that you are able to return to the United States safely. Y'all, she's saying, be careful out there. The same rules, the same protection, the same advocation does not exist for women in foreign countries the way you think it is. So don't go over there and think you're safe and find yourself in a pickle. Welcome, Tatiana. And just as a reminder, everybody, I can only give 60 seconds. Tatiana, welcome.
Hello, thank you so much. 60 seconds, really short, so I'm going to try and do my best. So I just wanted to say a couple of things in terms of, I'm from West Africa. It's a shame that her parents did not do something that would have been ideal. The locals are the best people to take you around and to show you where to go, and you don't even have to spend that much money, because there's a big difference between the elites and bureaucracy and actually just the people. If they had gone, even if they had asked for people in the US that are from their country, some kind of connection, say, I call my cousin who works in a bank, and then she's going to get two people that are going to walk with you and take you wherever you need to go. That's when you get things sorted. Like, there's no way they're going to get anything sorted whilst they're in a whole different country. Another thing is, I used to travel when I was younger. I'm much older now. I know that this generation doesn't like that sort of thing, but I always traveled in a really simple way. Like, I'll go to Africa and I'll see Asian people, Caucasian people. They walk so simple. No one even looks at them. They think, wow, this is just like a local person. They just don't care. Sadly, I think in general, Black people, we kind of have like a different way. Like, we always look a bit opulent, and we don't quite check the local way of being. It's a very different way of traveling. And I think that sort of traveling can put you in a little bit of a spotlight. As for traveling with somebody else, to be honest, I don't even know what to say, because I travel so much and I never had those issues. So it's really sad. It's really sad. I just wish they had some kind of local connection. That's the only thing that was missing, to be honest with you.
Beautiful. Thank you for coming up, Tatiana. Beautifully stated. And what she's saying is, in order to make yourself not a target, don't be a target. When you come flamboyant, the hair, the weave, the jewelry, the glasses, do a little bit of research, right? Not putting anybody at fault. But one of the beautiful things about diversity is knowing where you're going, the rules, the regulations. And a lot of foreign countries, I'm going to be honest with you, they don't even wear shorts. American women wear shorts. They'll wear skirts and dresses, but shorts is a prime way for them to identify that you are an American. The form fitting, the clothes, the over exaggeration of the body, the curves, and all of that. Listen, we get it. I am woman. Hear me roar. I'm free. I'm free. Don't touch me. All of that. But you bring more attention to yourself. You stand out like a sore thumb. Now they're able to do a head count. Hey, we got a group of 5 American Black girls here. You know, they here by themselves. Ain't no men with them. Alcohol poisoning. You heard what was going on during COVID or right after COVID in the Dominican Republic when these girls were waking up and the alcohol was being tainted. They found themselves beat up, assaulted. Just ladies, do everything you can do in your power to merge in, to kind of be flush. You get what I'm saying? Not to say you can't look beautiful or it's against the law, but take everything into consideration. Let me go to the next caller. As a reminder, 60 seconds, y'all. I got to push through this. Jay Prince, I see you. Shadow Moon, I see you. Carrie, I see you. We're going to power through 60 seconds. Lynn Gala, welcome. Lynn Gala. You're on mute, Lynn Gala.
Hey, hi, Queen. Hi, everybody.
Welcome. Welcome.
Happy blessed Sunday to everyone, and thank you for the 60 seconds. I've been listening attentively, and I want to use my 60 seconds to follow up on what the last 2 callers said. However, I'm going to say overall, I think my opinion is that this relationship with Ashlee Janae and Joe McCann was a business arrangement gone very bad. And I'm not talking about anything on a sexual level whatsoever. I firmly believe that Ashlee had her own money, smart woman, had her own head about her, and had her goals in mind. And I think Joe was having major financial problems and was pressuring her to either invest or support in some way, and she was not agreeable. And this public fighting, this physical fighting in front of others was his rage and his anger that she would not comply. Unfortunately, things went very, very bad for her. So I'd like to go into my second part here. I happen to be a solo traveler. I am a female, I am a woman. I am an older woman, and I've been traveling overseas for some time. And what I would say to the young women that I particularly see here in your chat, and the young men too, is to always travel with insurance, traveler's insurance. And if I may, I say American Express is the best. Never stay at a place that's less than 4 stars. Never stay at a place that doesn't have top line security. Do not
Yes.
engage with strangers anywhere, period, in your own neighborhood, your own community, your own environment, but particularly when you are away. If you don't know the language, you know, that Google app is so fantastic. It can now translate any language. You got a question, you pop it into your iPhone, it'll translate it to who, as the other woman had said before, the locals. The locals is your housekeeper, the cook,
All right.
the person at the front desk, the concierge. Never, ever leave the property without an authorized driver from the resort that you're staying at or the hotel that you're staying at. That is so key. And always remember that when you're moving through spaces, just as you are at home, to be aware of the people around you. You better believe there are predators everywhere, and they are at the resorts as well. They're all over the world. They're looking
All
for
right.
people to take advantage of and to scam and to do harm.
All
To
right.
her family,
Thank you, Lingala. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I got to go to the next caller.
okay,
But
well,
that is
I'm
that's
done. Thank you, Queen.
all right. That's all beautiful advice. And listen, what she's saying ultimately, girls, we know y'all want to have a good time. We know if people enjoy being flued out, but if you make your own damn money, fly yourself out. Get yourself in a good hotel, pay top dollar because that increases the probability of security, high profile security, and you're gonna be safe. Gated hotels and resorts, you're gonna be safe and stay your behind on those resorts. Welcome, Carrie. Carrie, you got 60 seconds. What are your thoughts? We're ready for Carrie. In 5, 4, Carrie, 3, 2, Carrie, drop down. I see you trying. Come on back up. I'm gonna drop you down. Go ahead and drop out, Carrie. Shadow Moon, welcome, Shadow. What are your
Hi, can you
thoughts?
guys hear me?
Yep.
All right, I am a New York City Black American, and I was just in Zanzibar last year. I was there from July for about a week. We stayed at a beautiful Airbnb in the north. So this story really hit very specifically for me and really close to home. But I want to just speak to like what Zanzibar felt like. Zanzibar is a like 90% Muslim Islamic island. It felt very sweet and very humble. The people, I want to say there was an experience, for example, I left my phone on the beach and one of the attendants, or just like he was a random person that like just hangs out, sells things on the beach. He's like, don't worry about your phone getting stolen. He's like, this is Zanzibar. And he said, he made a joke. He's like, this is not Kenya. And I couldn't understand what he meant, but he wanted to, he hinted at the fact that they really, really pride themselves on their tourism. Their tourism is extremely important, and they do whatever it takes to make sure they're comfortable, to make sure that there are no like ill intent things happening towards their tourists. They treated us with the utmost respect. We were three women alone. And I actually recently called the person that just drove us around and I asked him what was going on. First, he told me that it is the rainy season and there's not a lot of tourists on the island at all. And I was like, that's very interesting. He told me he absolutely heard about the situation, but it wasn't being talked about in the way that I described because I have heavy access to the internet and all of that, but he told me he saw two news reports maybe. And that was very interesting to me. So I agree with what you guys are saying about maybe it being shadowed because of some higher authority that's going on. I also wanted to hint towards one more thing. Yes, the attendants do have access to your villa. We stayed in a villa, which was an Airbnb, very different from a hotel. And they do come around late at night at times to ask you questions like, what do you need? How can we help you? Do you need food? Do you guys need water, alcohol, whatever it is that you need? They are very, very much open. They do it. They did come in our room at times. And one of the things I would say is there's nobody just walking around. It's dark as hell out there. So especially in the north, you are not just walking around. So I do not believe that she was just walking around looking for a charger. That is not happening at all. So I just wanted to hint towards what it looked like in Zanzibar as a Black woman from New York City. I felt safe. I felt like that island really, really cared about their tourists in a different way. And I've been around. Well, I was just in Ghana. I've been in different places. And Zanzibar was a extremely beautiful place. A lot of their banning has to do with something very historical, which is somewhat like what the embargo that's happening with Cuba. But really, Zanzibar is a welcoming, beautiful place. But they aren't equipped, I would agree, or to handle any level of maybe forensics or things like that. But I know my 60 seconds are up. But I really wanted to say that, and thank you so much for your just everything. Thank you.
All right. All right. Thank you. That Shadow Moon said, listen, she stayed in the north part. That's the northern region. That's where the police commander operates and all of that. Listen, you better get in your bag. I got to shout out really quickly. Jay Prince is up next. We're going Ann, Grace, Trina, and we're going to go Carrie. Let me do Carrie before Jay Prince, because Carrie, I'm going to give you one more shot. Hold on. Not yet. Not yet. I got to get to this super chat. Hold on. Give me 1 second and we're going to power through. And then I'm going to wrap up the segment with our medical professional who's here to walk us through. I got to get to my super chats. First of all, 6391 Love. Thank you for the 10 Ps, the $10 super chat. We appreciate you and your support of the channel. Deep Dives with Ali. Sally, thank you. Sally says too many days have passed for a proper autopsy. I agree with you. And I think it's by design. I think they understand. Sexy RN, I want you to tackle that about the ideal time to complete an autopsy when it's your turn. Okay, let's go. Jay Grizzly, thank you for the $5 super chat. You said, I noticed. What I noticed is that the media is purposely keeping him out of attention, and white men and white women are silent on this. Listen, only the Black community is vocal. That's all right. That's okay though, because we can put that pressure and apply that pressure if we don't go away. That's why we got to stick together. Sharonda TV 2815. Thank you. You says, thank you. You are working today, Queen. God bless you for covering Ashlee's story. It is my pleasure and my honor. Phoenix Black. She says, Joe Budden spoke very highly. He did of Ashlee very highly. Y'all, Ashlee was not romantically involved with no Joe Budden. I don't know where y'all are getting that from, but if that, let's as content creators, let's, if you didn't hear that, let's not assume that. He spoke extremely highly of her, but I still need Black celebrities to step up and donate to the family. How come y'all are quiet on this? How come y'all didn't make sure that that family had what they needed to get over there and get that body back? I have an update. Sarah Smile, thank you for the $100 super chat. You says, blessings, Queen Sheba, abide in the safety and protection of the Most High. Psalms 91. We receive that, Queen, and we appreciate you. Jay Prince, welcome. Or hold on. Let me go to Carrie Shadow Moon. I already went to Shadow Moon, didn't I? Yeah, I had Shadow Moon. Let's go to Carrie. Carrie, you got 60 seconds, Carrie. Welcome. Dang, Carrie, your microphone just don't want you here today. Keep trying, Carrie. I'm going to take you down. We're going to go to Jay Prince. Welcome, Jay Prince.
What's going on, Queen Sheba? We could have our own opinion.
Yes, you can. Keep it respectful, but you can have your
Okay.
own opinion.
Well, I think she's a product of her mama insecurity of her race. And when you look at her mom had a white guy and it started with a white family. And then this story reminded me of Sade that have a white boyfriend in our city. And when you look at it, her mom had a white boyfriend with white siblings. So I think that she was more insecure because she was the only actual Black kid in that family. And a lot of times women start mimicking the stuff that their mothers do. So I think that her mama infected her with this, the white man is right, and I'm quite sure the biracial kids get way more attention than the actual dark-skinned girl. And so I think she grew up believing that Black men were just this bad stuff. I mean, the woman that she revered obviously done taught her that, and that's why she used to have these she had to talk this stuff about how the white man is better than in so many ways than a Black man. So she go to Tanzania around Africans, and she realized that all of this stuff she believed about Black men was a lie. I think that a lot of people were saying she was a sex worker, which kind of would make sense. I think that when she went down, because why would somebody pay all that money for a trip just to go there to get into a big fight? I think that she realized her mama was lying, and then she realized her mama and them that influenced her to be with a white man was a lie. And she started seeing these black men was so lovable to their black wives and black kids and a lot of stuff like that. But my closing point is, as a black man, I think when you commit a treason or if you betray our race, it's no longer the black man's concern. You remove yourself from the black man's covering, so we shouldn't raise our blood pressure to even give a care about this situation. I'm tired of people that you can betray the black man, and that's very harshful. But when black men say, okay, we don't have no empathy for this person, now you want to tell black men that he's wrong. We every time something heavy happened to black men, I mean, everybody could be harshful to black men, but when black men retaliate, you want to sit up here and moralize him to death and guilt trip him to death. And as a black man myself, I'm not going to allow that to happen. There's a lot of black men saying this is not our problem. And if she want justice, she had to go to the same white man that she decided to cover to get covering from. Same as her mom. Don't look for black men to fight for you.
All right. That's Jay Prince for president. He said it. Listen, we are very open community. We don't always agree. And when the panelists come up, it's not reflective of my view or my opinion, but we do create a space for people to share. Thank you, Jay Prince. We appreciate you. Thank you for coming up. Ann Grace, you got 60 seconds. What you got, Ann? Trina, you're up next, and then we're going to go back to Carrie.
Good afternoon, and you're doing a great job covering this, and I'm totally in agreement with all of your points of view. The three quick things that I wanted to hit on is a couple of things that have been said about Ashlee in a negative way, like assumptions like, oh, she's showing herself like she got all this money, but she don't have anything. She doesn't have insurance. You don't know if she didn't have insurance. The important thing is she did not leave her travel documents, her travel passport, her travel information, her insurance papers with her parents, other than Joe, trusting in Joe, that we don't know that purchase could have had travel insurance on it. They will never know because he's not sharing information with that family. So nobody knows if she purchased travel insurance or not. So that's an assumption that is being made that I don't like. Another assumption that she has to be this call girl and she's faking it because of the photos with the animals and stuff. I saw a young lady on TikTok break down her experience at that same location. She purchased that package. She has the same pictures that Ashlee has. That same bathtub with the red roses, she has that. So it's not that she was faking something for the gram. They purchased that particular package that gave her that experience with the animals. This young lady had the same exact photos with the giraffe, with the lion, every specific photo that Ashlee had. So that's another thing. And then another thing, I feel so saddened when I hear black men saying this thing about because she was with a white man, when in the last 2 weeks, I've seen several black women being murdered by black men. And so we don't want to make it a thing because it was a white man that did it to her and she's black, that we shouldn't be supportive or we shouldn't fight for her justice. She was a human being who lost her life and who was murdered. And we should fight regardless and we should care regardless. So those are my points of view. Sorry.
No need to be sorry. No need to be sorry. All excellent points of view. And that's Ann Grace, who waited patiently to come up and really articulate and bullet point three primary thoughts. And she said at the end of the day, we've lost one. And that's what everybody should be focused on. Thank you for coming up, Ann Grace. Lady V 333. Thank you for the $10 super chat. You says, Queen, the weight against the door could have been Ashlee's body against the door. So he went in and he saw her body, and that's why he ran. You know what? Could that have been the thud that he reported hearing? I don't know. That's a good point. Trina, 60 seconds. Welcome. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are that the last caller, with his representation of what black men should and should not support, is astronomically diabolical. Black men need to do better all across the country in support of Black women, irregardless of this situation. Okay, next, I would like to say, has anybody paid attention to the photograph of all of the different sailor knots and rope from their New Orleans trip? Because that picture is like a mockery to her death, and that occurred 2 months before this trip to Africa. I find it very significant that one would take a picture of multi-tyings of rope, and she subsequently dies from suicide, hanging, whatever they're trying to label it as. It was a knot involved, okay? So if you go back and you look at those pictures from New Orleans, you'll see this picture of all these different sailor knots. And so I think that he took that picture to mock us. He knew what he was going to do, and he is going to go to jail. And no one should be saying they're not going to support this young lady because she decided to date someone who's not Black. That's her choice, just like it was his choice to date someone who was not white. Okay? Plain and simple. And why does she have to have a tainted background of being a sex worker or a stripper? Where are the photos to prove it? Where are the photos to prove it? That's just defamation. Plain and simple. Show me where any of these pictures that they have together that everybody's seen, where nobody's posted, why you with that strip? She used to work at the strip club. Oh, he a goofy. He a millionaire dating a stripper. Stop tearing that girl background down. And her mother dated a Black man and had children by a Black man before she was with the white man. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Trina. That's Trina. Trina, I had to go to the next caller, but thank you for coming up. Excellent points. Those are her thoughts, not reflective of the platform. But listen, we open up the lines and I got to push through real fast. Carrie, before we go to Sexy RN. Carrie, welcome. Carrie, let's try to get, you've been so patient. Carrie, what you got? Oh my gosh, Carrie, it is just not your day today. Let me tell you how to do it. Listen to me. Don't click out. Carrie has been trying to get into the call for over 30 minutes. This is what you have to do, Carrie. I'm going to drop you out. Listen, don't leave yet. Come back in. Don't hit Enter Studio. Before you hit Enter Studio, I want you to click Settings, click Audio, and make sure your audio is attached to your phone, your car, or whatever you want it to be attached. And then you come back and you hit Enter Studio. And I guarantee you the sound should come. All right?
What about now? Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes. There you go.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. So what I wanted to share is that upon the last few days of just reading the comments, like multiple other ladies have said, it's been really disgusting hearing how people are talking about a Black woman who is a part of our community, where regardless if she dated outside of her race, we're all free to date whichever race that we want to, and we're all free to speak of our experiences. But when you get down to the bottom of it, she was allegedly murdered for no reason. She was allegedly murdered for no reason, and that is what we need to really focus on. Why was she murdered for no reason? Let's look at the epidemic of Black women who are being murdered by their spouses, regardless of whether they are white or Black, because Black men are doing it too. So why is this happening? We need to care about the women in our community. And as the leaders and the protectors that Black men claim that they are, they should care about what's happening to Black women in the community, that every single day, every couple of hours, Black women are being murdered, whether it is in America or overseas. I also found that their relationship was kind of weird, because when I saw the videos of her communicating and how she spoke, and then saw the clips of how he spoke, in my opinion, there just seemed to be a disconnect personality-wise. So I'm not 100% sure how that match makeup took place. And I agree with what you said about her potentially dying right at the place rather than at the hospital, that makes way more sense. It actually doesn't even make that much sense that she was struggling all that time. He found her and she was in a hanging position struggling. And then 30 minutes later, you mean to tell me she was still alive? And then they took her to the hospital and she was still alive? Like that?
No. Not even 30 minutes later. We broke it down from Swahili to English. See, we were trying, all the other blogs and content creators are trying to decipher the timeline. We had a translator. We had a translator, and she said, no, Queen. When he ran from that room, they came back an hour later.
That doesn't, so by then she would have already been gone, because if she was in a hanging position, and like, how would she have been able to struggle for that long for her life and then still have been alive, then been taken to the hospital and still been alive? Like, that doesn't really add up. And who leaves someone who is in a dire position for an hour or so and just disappears when you know the person could potentially die at any time? How could you forget about that? So and also, if he heard a thud, it makes me wonder if he potentially caught the fiance in the act, and maybe the fiance might have told him, like, just leave or something, or paid him off, or maybe they had something going on to plan it. But what does that thud really mean?
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Carrie. I'm glad you hung in there and you waited for us to bring you up. That's Carrie. Carrie posed some very important questions. I know I have some repeat callers. Here's the thing. Y'all keep coming in. I'm trying to get everybody. I'm going to lock the lines now. Simone, Wealthy, and Donna, I know you've already been up here. If you can keep it between 15 seconds and 30 seconds, I'll take you real quick. If not, I'm gonna have to cut you because I got a few more. I gotta go ahead, Donna, real quick. Donna.
Hey. Okay, thank you for letting me back in, Queen.
Okay, you got 15 to 30 seconds. You gotta plow
through it. Okay, so my thing is, the black men that are so upset about her preference of dating a white man, I am not upset about that. Men need to do better. Like you just said, if you had your finances in order and if you wasn't drinking and abusing women, we'll mess with you. You know what I'm saying? But people really need to get their stuff together and stop being out here flossing, just for the internet. It's not a real life. It's a lifestyle. Everybody's faking. Everybody. Ain't nobody got no money for real. Nobody. All right. So thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for keeping it, because Donna's been up before. Thank you for keeping it between 15 and 30 seconds. Simone Wealthy, can you do the same?
I
Welcome.
sure can. Okay, this is for Jay Prince and all those trolls in the chat. This isn't for you, okay? We get it. You're not going to support Miss Ashlee and her family because of the white man. But we have a whole slew of other black women that were murdered by black men this week, in the last week and a half. We have a lieutenant governor who murdered his black wife in front of his children. We have another woman who was murdered on the street in Atlanta. We have another woman who was murdered by her pastor, by her preacher husband. So go over there and support those black women and their black families, and definitely put your foot on those black cowards and monsters who murdered them. Go over there and support them. And I think that Butler ran because he knew they were going to make him the fall guy. Thank you, Queen.
All right. That's how we do it over here. You see how we do it? They bring it strong. They bring it hard. They articulate. Jason, I want to come to you. Hold on. We got Nisha and OG Patrice. You're next. Jay Prince, I'm going to save you. You got 15 to 30 seconds, Jay Prince. Get your thoughts together because you've been up here. I want you to come strong. I want you to come hard. And I need you to drop the mic. Jason Reels, I know you coming up. I don't know you, but I know you coming up because I saw you in the chat. Jason, keep it respectful, but keep it authentic to you. What do you have, Jason?
Hello, Queen. How you doing? How you doing, sisters and brothers? I don't think that it's the white man that she dated, because I put it like this: if my daughter decides to date outside of her race, I'm okay with that. But what I won't be okay if she's going to put down her own race and doing that. So I think it's not mostly like with her dating the white man. I think where the brother was trying to say, but he didn't articulate it right, is that the things that she would say about her own race, because you should never put your own down. And even black men do it too. Don't put your own race down on the national stage for everybody to hear that you don't care about each other. Because the people in power that look like him, is going to protect him because black people worldwide don't have no power. So when we get put in these positions, what do you expect to be done? Now, this is a whole another country with whole different rules and laws, which is very steep because you can't do nothing about it, because it's like it's like you're begging them and you have to see if they're going to follow up with your request because they don't have to answer to American laws because they're a whole different country. Just like America doesn't have to answer to anybody else's laws. This is why I tell people, it's a gift and a curse to be in America because as a black person, you might go through systemic issues, but you got laws that protect you. These other foreign countries, they don't have these laws. The prisons don't even look as good. The prisons out here look like a hotel compared to Africa. If you look up the prison conditions in Africa, those prisons in America look luxury. It's like hotels. But that's all I had to say. Love you, Queen. Love you, brothers and sisters. We just got to stick together. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. And shout out to everybody that's calling in today. One thing about this community, we are very diverse. Listen, I think in order to really, really massage the conversation, it can't just be an echo chamber. We got women, men, black, white, yellow, brown. We got 18-year-olds to 80-something-year-olds. We bring it when we talk. We got professionals. We have people that are retired, not professional, and we open up the lines because everybody's thoughts and opinions matter. Real quick, let me go to Roberta. Roberta said, Ashlee could have money, but so many do not have beneficiaries on bank accounts. Oh my God, that is I may have to come back to this. But at the end of the day, a death certificate is needed. What she's trying to say is if you don't put your mom, your husband, your daddy, it don't matter if they're family. Probate court is a whole other topic. You could have a life insurance policy. You could have 30, 40, 50, $3 million in your bank account. If you don't put your mom as an account holder and somebody that could have access to it, the money that Ashlee has, her parents would have to go to probate court to access it. So it's not about being broke. It's about understanding the law. And when it comes to that, I know where you're going with this. A lot of black folks don't know how that works because you don't want nobody on your account because you're scared they're going to take something from you. But if you understand how things really work, you will put somebody on your account. Let's go, Nisha.
Oh,
Welcome,
okay.
Nisha.
Thank you. Hello, Queen, and everybody. Okay, I just want to take a statement for us to take the color out of it. It's just a young lady have lost her life and an older man did it. And so that's my comment.
Short, easy, sweet, to the point. Thank you, Nisha. OG Patrice, Jay Prince, you're up next, and then we're gonna close out. We got Somali Queen. Somali Queen has an update from Zanzibar. We got Sexy RN, baby. We're about to get into it. Let's go, OG Patrice.
Hey, Queen, how you doing? Thank you for allowing me to come up. I want to give a lot of statistics to the Black men that are complaining about women in general, specifically Ashlee, since she is the topic of dating outside of her race. Most women, Black women that date outside their race, I think, but have dated or married Black men first. I think they are speaking the things that Ashlee said. I think she was speaking from her own lived experience with Black men, and she's young, right? So she made a decision for whatever reason she made it. But I want to drop some statistics on these very Black men because the ones that are out here hollering and butthurt and all of this are the same women that Ashlee was talking about that are problematic, that wake up and find ways to embarrass us as a culture, right? These are the same Black men that she spoke about. I did not care for the fact that she spoke on, specifically wanting to have mixed babies, even though that's her choice, that is her choice. But let's talk about statistics. When you're talking about who dates more outside their race, that will be Black men. Black men date more outside their race than all other races combined. Look that up. Check the statistic. Black women tend to be more race loyal than Black men. Now, when we want to talk about unalivements and who's doing it to what, guess what? Black men lead in all other races 2.5 times more to unalive their Black women, their exes, their baby mamas, more than the Caucasian men are doing it to their own Caucasian women, and more than Caucasian men are doing it to any other race outside their race. So at the end of the day, Black men, take a look in the mirror and say, what is it that I'm doing wrong as a Black man? Because she made a choice for whatever reason, whether we agreed with it or not. She did not deserve what happened to her. So these same Black men that are trolling in chats, that are saying these disparaging things, are the problematic men that Ashlee was talking about, that find ways to wake up and embarrass us as a culture every day. Do better, Black men, and check the stats that I said, because they are true. Thank you.
Listen, mic drop. Mic drop. That's it. That's all. She said what she said. Let me go to Red Ruff. Red or Red. Red says, because the Black man and the Black man and the Black man and the Black. Oh, you being funny, huh? Okay. Sounds like Jay Prince have a few supporters out here. Sounds like Jay Prince went and got his boys and they hopped in the trunk and they're going to support him. Jay Prince, I'm bringing you back. Nisha, I want to hear what you had to say. Nisha, you've been waiting a long time, but you dropped down. Come back, Nisha. I'm going to prioritize you. We're going to Somali Queen. We're going to Sexy RN. Jay Prince, I was going to give you 30 seconds, but people are coming for your head. I'm going to give you 60. What you got? Hold on. You're on mute. Jay Prince, you're on mute. For some reason, your audio isn't connected. Take your time. Take your time. We can't hear you. I'm going to take him off. Hold on. I'm going to take him off. I'm going to let him go settings. Make sure that audio is connected. Carolyn, can you do it in 60 seconds?
Yes.
You got it. The clock is ticking. Carolyn.
Okay. Hey, so I was just doing some research for like the past hour and a half. My boyfriend is a huge crypto investor, so I have some experience in crypto, especially meme coins and Bitcoin and all that, etc. stuff. Anyway, I was looking at Joe's X account. He's been promoting a meme coin for Iggy Azalea. I think she's I think she's a singer, I believe so.
But
And
Izzy isn't white. A lot of people think Izzy isn't white. She's not white. She may be Russian, but keep going.
yeah, so her meme coin is called the dollar sign, because that's what you have to put first in crypto. So like the @ sign, but it's the dollar sign. So you have the dollar sign mother. Okay, that's the name of the coin. It's called Mother. So she's promoting it in X. Joe's promoting it in X, and Janae has been promoting it on X. So I don't know, but I was looking at the charts, and I'm not an expert, but between the dates of when she was like at the trip to when like they announced her death, it looks like there's been some activity, but I just think it's interesting. So maybe someone can look into that, because there's some sort of relationship. I think she knows Iggy Azalea, and she has a good relationship with Joe, because Joe is pretty much like the head sponsor for her coin. So that's my intake.
All right. Thank you so much, Carolyn. Thank you. That was Carolyn. She said, listen, you got to go down that Bitcoin rabbit hole. Follow the money. You may come up with something. Miss Sparkles, thank you for the $2 super chat. You said Sloan Bella's reading, believes she was sacrificed. Her friend says she was sacrificed. Ashlee has a childhood friend that came up a little bit earlier. Her name is T. T said, I believe she was sacrificed. T said, I don't want to get into the details, but that's what I strongly believe. Give me 1 second. Nisha, can you do it in 60 seconds?
Yes, it's probably less than 60. Hello, Queen. Okay, I just want to say we all need to start back getting along, men and women, no matter what color, and we need to pray for peace and love in this universe. And that's all I have to say. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Amen. Jay Prince, can you do it in 60 seconds?
Yes, I was wondering, can I pay you some more money to get extra time to address that stat?
Yeah, can you send me how much can you pay me? What we got?
I was going to send you 20 down there.
Give me 100. We got it. Can you give me 100?
And you know I don't got no, you know I'm broke as hell.
I'll give me 20.
I got you. I promise you know I got you.
got 2 minutes. Go.
Okay, I want to address that stat. If 80% of black women is the majority, if it's 4 million black women, 2 million black men, if 80% of those black women is with the 80% of the black men, that means the majority of black men is with black women right back. So that means it's more black women who date outside. See, the problem is black women are so used to taking information from white men and think that's what white men say is actually God's. They only heard their stats from white men. Secondly, why is black women, if black men is committing violence towards black women, it seems like everywhere black women go, they get violence done to them. So why is they so attracted to me to a man's fist? That's one. That's second. Thirdly, is they celebrated Kevin Samuel's death. Black women did. So here's my thing. I would argue that the reason why black men is so violent towards black men and black women, because black men was raised with his opposition. He was raised with the two people that didn't value his presence. The white man and the black woman was his biggest enemy. And every time we hear a story about what happened with the black race, we only hear from black women and white men. We never get the chance to hear from the black man himself. What makes the white man and the black woman credible about these stories? So yes, at the end of the day, she infected her womb with the white man's semen. And at that point, it's not the black man's problem no more. No, I'm only going to fight for a black woman that's on a black man's program. If you sign up and go try to fuck with the enemy and delete our real race by creating a white man's baby, that don't have shit to do with black men. We don't feel sorry. We not finna try to guilt you. We're not gonna allow you to guilt trip us. The only time we will ride and protect the black woman is when the black woman is for the black man. That's it. That's all. We is not trying to play we all this world bullshit. If you not on our program, fuck you and fuck everything that happened that comes
Hold
with
on.
you.
Send me my damn money. Send me my damn money, Jay Prince. Send me my money. Make good on it. Put it here on the stage in front of everybody. I didn't even know it was gonna take this route. I took you down, but send me my money. Send me my $20 because they think you broke. I don't think you broke. I think you got 20. Jay, can you do it in 60 seconds? Last call.
Yes, I can. Yes,
Let's
I
go,
can.
Jay.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yep, you got it. Carolyn, you're next.
Okay.
Let's go, Jay.
Okay, yeah. All I want to say is that I believe that us as black people, we got away from Jesus Christ. We was following Jesus Christ once upon a time harder. We through slavery, we wasn't even teaching the white man how to follow Jesus Christ because they wasn't living it. And also, we got to stop defending bum assness. You feel me? Like we got a lot of people who be on bum status, and black men, we be like, okay, we'll side with a black man just because he a black man on some bro code. That's whack. If a dude wrong, he wrong. If a female wrong, black woman, stop defending her. If she wrong, she wrong. If she dressing like a whore, stop defending it. That come with prostitutes die every day. Okay, so like whether she a prostitute or not, if you looking like one, you get put in that category. Stop defending it. If a nigga a bum, stop defending bum nigga time. That's it.
Short, sweet, and to the point. To the point. I like it, Jay. Jay said, listen, what the hell are y'all doing? Like, seriously, what are you doing? Reset. If it is what it is, stop. When did we become so disjointed, disconnected? Thank you, Jay. Carolyn, can you do it in 60 seconds? Carolyn, in 5. Carolyn, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We have an update. We couldn't get Carolyn. We have an update from Somali Queen. Somali, can you do it in 2 minutes? What's the newest update?
Yes, Queen, I can do it in less than 2 minutes. Hey guys. So I was just curious and I asked my source in Zanzibar and I said, hey, how come they've not released the autopsy results? And he said, it's the US Embassy that is in charge of everything. Then I asked, what do you mean? How come they haven't told the parents the truth about the autopsy? And he's like, there's nothing to tell if the US State Department is here in Zanzibar They are the ones who are investigating, arresting people, whoever was in contact that day. And then I said, do you mean to tell me the US Embassy is withholding information? He said, yes, they're saying investigations are still ongoing. So, yeah.
Do y'all hear that? Somali Queen was able to connect while we were in live to her source in Zanzibar. The U.S. State Department is there. They have taken on the investigation. They are the ones that have, quote unquote, allegedly 48 hours ago started arresting people. They did not take the police commander's word. They did not take the hotel's word. They came on, they started asking the right questions like all of us are doing today. I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you. The U.S. State Department. Oh, they got the body. They haven't sent it back. And Zanzibar is no longer in control. The information shared or that will be shared will be restricted according to the US. Okay? That's why there's no report, according to Somali Queen, on the body. The US is not ready to release it if they release it. And whatever they decide to release will be restricted. Why? We're not sure. That's the update we now have. Curious K, can you do it in 60 seconds? You're my last caller. I got to go with my experts. Are you ready, Curious? You're on mute. Curious, you're on mute. And 5, hit your microphone one time. 4, you just have to unmute. 3, 2, and 1. So for those of you that are tuned in, you say, why do you count down? The reason why I count down as a content creator is because everything is computerized and technology rules the nation. When I count down, that tells the algorithm and the computer where to place the ads. Got it? Sexy RN, come on in, medical professional. What are your thoughts?
Wow. I just want to know, I mean, she did say that the US has went, and I did just read, because I was looking as you were talking, that they did send a coroner. That's what it says. They sent a coroner, that they're not in charge, but they did send a coroner to assist them with the autopsy, which is still confusing because the autopsy does not take that long.
Okay, pause. So, okay, she's right, and you're getting a little bit more detailed to kind of dissect what she's saying. So the U.S., the United States of America, has sent over their own independent coroner, correct?
Correct. That's what it says.
Oh, that's good. So we're involved now. The U.S. is invested, correct?
Yes.
Okay, continue.
But when you start hearing lies, you have to dissect lies, and I usually like to start from the end and then work my way back to the beginning. So, which we did. So we now know that probably the whole entire hospital or wherever she went to was false, correct? So we know that they probably were, for whatever reason, decided to tell a bunch of lies. And so we know now we had to come back to the hotel. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Can
can
you
hear
hear me?
you. We
Okay,
listening.
sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. You have to go back to the hotel. But my question is, has anyone even sent pictures of this body to the family? How do we know this is her? How do we know there's days missing according to, because this is the first day I really listened to everything that you went through. So there's days missing. How do we know this is her? What do we really know? I need to know that this is her body. I need a DNA test. I need to
Mm.
I need a DNA test because we don't know what happened those 4 days. We know this is a place where trafficking does occur. We know this is a man of means who is associated with a man of means. Usually, trafficking is associated with people of means who
Yes.
like to visit the same country over and over and over again. Why?
Okay, let's
So
pause.
we,
Let's pause. So what you're saying as a medical professional, first of all, we need to identify the body.
yes,
Dental records, scientific biology, whatever. It doesn't matter if you think you know it's Ashley. You look at Ashley, medical procedures, you have to identify the body, period. You cannot skip that step, right?
right.
And what you're saying is based on what you have investigated and researched, nobody's identified the body. The parents haven't come out to say that was Ashley. We saw the body. That's Ashley. And with that being said, if we haven't, how do we not know that compared to the theories that are out there, she was in sex trafficking?
We don't. How do we know this wasn't? We all kind of agree there was a scheme, that this was kind of planned. So then what was it planned for? What was the end goal? Because he's not hurting for money, but if you're involved in that kind of business, I mean, I don't really want to go down that rabbit hole either, but the man does visit this country often.
The question would be with who and for what?
Right. Has he gone with other women before? What's happened in the past? We don't know. And then unfortunately, they're not going to be able to determine the time of death. They can do it within, because it's too late. Usually, I know you asked me that question. Usually the
Okay,
first
let me
up
put it
to
up on the screen. I'll put it up on the screen so everybody can follow along. Give me 1 second. I did that question came from. Give me 1 second. All right, Jay Prince has put his money on the books. Oh no, Jay Prince, you can't say that. Hold on. Here we go. Deep Dives with Sally says too many days have passed. When should a proper autopsy be conducted? Because we've heard about bodies being exhumed a year or two later for autopsy in the U.S. What are your thoughts?
You can do that. However, because of, you can narrow down a death to like, oh, this happened within this month, or if you resume the body after a certain amount of time. But to really know when she actually was unalived, you would need to, that body was in 24 to 72 hours at the most, to really know, to really narrow down, like, oh, it was probably 12 o'clock this day or this exact day. They may be able to narrow it down to a week because they know where she was, they can guess, but exact 24 to 72 hours, too much goes on a body.
That's a good question. According to Master Fard, who identified the body?
I'm sure it was him. It would serve him to identify her body. He already said that she did it to herself. How he would know that is, I mean, I guess he's psychic.
Well, he would know that. An innocent person wouldn't even know anything. They wouldn't even. You know what innocent people do? What the
Yes.
fuck happened? What happened to her?
Right.
What do you mean? Who was in there? They don't come out and say. They don't take nobody's word. No, unless you were in there. And just because you were in there doesn't mean she did it. You could have been in there and did it, and here's going to be your story. So how do you know for a fact if you were in Villa? Let's play the Villa. Let's get the distance. Here we go, y'all. I just want to show you what it looks like in real time so you can take our word for it. This is Ashlee's villa. The villas are operated in cluster. Ashlee was in villa 21 through 26 right here. The blue line leads to the waterfront. Ashlee's villa was close to the beachfront. This is Joe's villa, approximately 8 to 10 minutes away. He's in cluster 61 through 68. Let me play it one more time. How in the hell would you know that Ashlee did it to herself? You would have more questions than affirmative statements, correct? Sexy Ariane?
Oh, correct. Definitely.
Okay.
He had no questions, just statements. Right. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, just statement. Yeah. Watch this. He didn't have any questions. He's not trying to get to the bottom of what happened to his beautiful beloved. He's coming out like he know. The only way you would know is if you were in there or if you did it to her and this is your cover-up story. Otherwise, you don't know what the hell happened. You ain't taking nobody's word in a foreign country that you don't know. Now watch this. Then we go back to the initial hospital statement, Sexy RN, which you broke down for us. Let's start it all over.
Making headlines across the world. Well, today we spoke to her family in Delaware who say they aren't getting any answers about what happened to her from officials in Tanzania or her fiance.
My daughter, Ashlee, she's no longer here with us, and we're trying to find out why.
On April 5th, influencer Ashlee Robinson, who goes by Ashlee Janae on Instagram, was celebrating her 31st birthday in Zanzibar, Tanzania. She was on the vacation with her boyfriend of 1 year, who popped the question just 2 days before.
She was starting the next chapter of her life. She called us and FaceTimed us to share with us her travel.
Ashlee's mother says she never would have expected that less than a week later, her daughter would be dead. On April 8th, she says Ashlee called saying she and her fiance got into an argument and were moved to separate rooms. The next day, she received another call, this time from her fiance.
He told me that Ashlee did something to herself and that she was being taken to the hospital. I said, what happened when? And he told me it had been 11 hours prior.
So he lied.
That's very specific too.
Yeah, did you hear that? She
He
said
gave a very specific.
Yeah, he lying. Most men can't even remember where they put your scissors. Where's my spoon? Where's my creamer? I don't know. You can like go in the closet and look where is right in front of them. Most women will tell you that. Child, he looked right at it. She said he told me that Ashlee was on the way to the hospital. She can't be on the way to the hospital and it happened 11 hours ago. Does that make sense?
No, it does not.
Here's the part, Sexy RM, where I really want you to break it down. Let's get into the medical report.
Hours later, the luxury resort the couple was staying at called saying that Ashlee passed away.
Is that customary? Let's not what could happen, but best practices. Will a resort or a hotel, no matter where you are and what part of the world, normally make the death call in your experience?
No, of course not. They can't even legally say that you're not alive.
Thank you. Even airlines do not determine. Airlines, I was an international flight attendant for 12 years. We don't declare anybody dead. We will land the plane. Many years ago, I was an international flight attendant. We'll call MedLink and dispatch for medical emergency, but airlines, and we're talking about, you report to the federal government. That's a federal entity. Don't pronounce people dead. They're pronounced dead after the fact, and we don't do it. So what does that make you think as a medical professional that the hotel made the call to the parents to say your daughter's dead? What are your thoughts?
Well, how would they know she was dead unless she was dead at the resort?
Boom.
Because how would they have, if she was at the hospital or urgent care, wherever she was, and died there, how would they know that? The hospital wouldn't call them.
Thank you. All right, let's continue.
According to the hospital's medical report, Ashlee had an unidentified mark around her neck. They wrote, according to her husband, he found she hung herself on the door.
What do you hear as a medical professional? He found her. That's what they initially reported. She came in with a mark around her neck.
And they said a small mark around her neck.
Huh?
Sorry, it's not funny, but did they just say a small mark around her neck?
Unidentified mark.
Unidentified mark. Okay, it was an unidentified mark, and she was hanging around a door. What door? That doesn't make any sense.
What it says in the medical report is I'm gonna tell you, it says AAMPLE, ample. So they go down and they have these A for unknown, M for unknown, P for unknown, L 4 hours ago. Y'all, they lied.
The whole thing is a lie. That's what you start off with, a lie. Oh my
God. I never looked at this medical report. They didn't get Ashlee to the hospital until 4 hours after she died. They're saying that this incident, according to the incident, correct? This happened 4 hours ago. Is that what ample means?
Yes, that's what it. Yes, 4 hours ago. Yes, and they said 4 hours. They got her 4 hours later, and then they also made a report. Then it said that they had a heartbeat. Like who?
My God. I missed this, and I've been playing this and reading this report. We missed this the other day. They said they received her. Lord have mercy. Okay. They're saying what the report they're receiving. Listen, you can go. ABC News is where I got it from.
Okay.
It says, according to the husband, he found not the butler, not the hotel staff. The husband found her, that she hung herself on the door. Joe, why are you in her room?
But they said he wasn't there.
Bill is 65.
But they said he was not in the room. So how could he find her?
Thank you.
Everything has been a lie. So the question is, how long was she that's when he decided to say, so what exactly happened? So again, you said the last time she posted was on her mom talked to her on the 8th. Is she sure it was the 8th? Is she positive about that?
The last time she posted was the 2nd or the 3rd because she was at a different villa where they probably took a flight to Zanzibar, Tanzania. She was at a different resort, right? Where they probably took a flight or ferry. They had to come a ways to come over there. That's a different location. Toot, can you send me the statement by the other resort? They made it very clear that there was foul play involved. They didn't say it outright, but they strongly indicated it. I'm going to play that for you. The hospital said we didn't get her till 4 hours later. So if the hotel is saying Ashlee died, you remember the police commissioner said 8:55 p.m. We broke down that. The hospital said we didn't get her until 4 hours later. So let's do this. Either 4:55, they was fighting, or 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12:55 a.m. local time. What are your thoughts?
No, that does make sense. I cannot believe. So everyone lied. They just probably thought that no one would catch it because no one would care. And that says a lot about how people view sometimes. But
Now, let
that's
me
a
ask,
lot because these are blatant lies that are obvious that anyone can catch with enough thought.
let me ask you something from a medical. Is the medical urgent care?
Yes, they lied.
Think of
All
the
of that.
urgent care.
I questioned it because it didn't make sense to me when I heard you. Because when I came in, that's what I heard you reading. I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense at all. No one
Because you
says
said
fast
they should have
heartbeat. I
done
remember
what?
that specifically. They should have. If someone comes in with a heartbeat and they have you intubate them immediately. That's the first thing you do. Any medic can tell you that. Any EMT, anyone can tell you that. You intubate them immediately because you want to protect their airway because you want to make sure they're being oxygenated, all their organs are being perfused, which means everything is getting enough oxygen. So you're going to intubate. First thing you're going to do. Second thing I would do is think to warm the body. I don't care about that. I want to protect your airway.
Let's play the part. Let me show them the part where they said she had a pulse. And this is the part where it
Yeah,
becomes
fast and they said it was strong. And
fast
that
and
also
strong.
threw me. It was fast and strong. I'm like, so what does that mean? Because no one says that in med. It's either this is your heart rate. Your heart rate is 80, it's 100, it's 150. It's what is it? Fast doesn't mean anything.
Okay, let's do this. Let me get it on the screen where everybody can see it.
With several question marks.
Sometime Jill went back to the room with security, and that's how they found her.
Did you hear what the dad said? Joe is claiming that he found Ashlee. If they separated you, why are you back in her villa? So that eliminates the story or kind of removes the story of the butler. Joe, the dad said, what we got is Joe found her hanging, and then Joe went to go get security. It wasn't a butler. The butler is the fall guy, or the butler is the whatever. But the hospital says, CVS, that Ashlee's pulse was strong and fast. That's why we have a medical professional said, if that's the case, if Ashlee came in with any signs of life, how come you didn't intubate her to protect her airways? Because if not, you let her die, correct?
Correct.
What could be true versus what is absolutely not true from a medical perspective?
That is absolutely not true. There's no way if you would never do that. You would immediately protect. That's everyone's first thought. I don't care whether you work in a protect the airway. And not just that, the GCS of 30 and eyes, pupils blown. These are things that to me says that yeah, that happens when there's damage to the brain, which is another reason why you want to protect the airway and make sure she's getting oxygenated to her brain. So no, that is absolutely not true. I wouldn't think to put warm blankets on someone until after I get them intubated. They could be butt naked. I don't care. I want to protect their airway, make sure they're breathing, get them on some drips or something. She had a strong heartbeat though. I don't even. I would question that as well because to
So
me, if you still have a strong heart rate and it's bounding, you're still kind of in a state of fight.
Okay, so April RN, another registered nurse, said you do your ABCs first. Break that down. What does
Right.
that mean?
Airway, breathing, circulation. Well, now it's circulation, airway, breathing, but still, you always, if that's the case, in that instance, you definitely want to protect their airway. Airway is what you want to protect because that's what's going to make sure that you're getting oxygen. You without oxygen, everything's going to die eventually. Brain cells do not rejuvenate, so you definitely want to
Mm.
protect that.
Okay, let me ask you this because they also said they transferred her to a different hospital. There is no evidence of her being intubated. There is no evidence of them saying they did CPR. There's
Right.
no evidence of anything. What are your thoughts?
They didn't do anything. That's what they did, nothing. So that's what made me question. I'm like, so you're, and I don't, like I said, I don't want to insult someone's country, but if that's what really happened, that means you didn't do anything. You allow her to die. If that's the way how it took place, first of all, you took her to her urgent care, which doesn't make any sense because the woman was not responsive. That means she goes to something more, what's the word? Like it's her, something that's more that can handle that type of situation. She wasn't, you go there when you're conscious. You don't go to urgent care when you're not conscious. I don't care if you have a
DG
pulse or
says,
not.
DG's a prosecuting district attorney. Thank you, DJ, for being here. DG, and she knows the right question. She said, why did they initially report strangulation and suffocation as a cause? Do you believe that? The hospital was trying to do their thing and somebody came back and backlogged and say, you're going to change that to she's been alert.
Well,
Initially, the hospital said strangulation and suffocation.
it seemed like the whole hospital report is false. If I don't believe one thing, it's hard for me to believe anything. And she probably was strangled. And strangulation and suffocation are not the same thing. So those are two different things. Strangulation, obviously, suffocation, you can suffocate somebody with a pillow, with a bag, whatever.
A nose
Strangulation,
and a
you
mouth,
are,
correct? Nose and a
I'm
mouth.
sorry, correct. Strangulation is just basically you're going around their neck, and there's gonna be evidence of that. Not just neck wounds, because you may not, and that's another thing, you may not initially see neck wounds, especially on people of color. That's something that can come later. What you will see though is the eyes. You should see petechiae, because you should see broken blood vessels. You should see compressed. Like I was saying, your jugular vein should be depressed. It should not be distended. It should be depressed because you are compressing on it. It None of that stuff made really too much sense to me. So it just made me question the whole thing, like you were just trying to make something up to make it seem like she did hang herself. Which is even in you making it up, it still didn't make sense.
Why would they still hold on to the body if the autopsy has been completed?
Well, I'm sure it has been completed. It only takes a couple of days. Actually, you can pretty much complete an autopsy in a few hours. Most people don't know that. The only part of the autopsy that's usually not completed is if they want to take tissue samples to check for drugs or things like that. That's what takes longer. Any type of, they want to do an alcohol panel, drug panel, that can take weeks. Everything else that they want to send off they found some semen. They want to send that off for testing. That part will take weeks, but they can determine the cause of death very quickly in a few hours. That's not it. That's why I'm saying, why are they holding the body? There are so
Mm.
many different ways they could have went about this. Why are they holding it? Because if you held it, first of all, we can now pretty much say that this person was not alive for hours before they were said to be alive or
Mhm.
said not to be alive, right? So then this body is now decomposing.
Mm.
What type of state is this body in? Is it in a place where it can be preserved in a cold environment, or is it a nice tropical environment, which is going to decompose it even faster? Is this person going to be recognizable by the time anyone really who knows can say this is not her? Does she have any distinguishable marks on her, tattoos, childhood bruises? I just honestly question the whole thing.
Well, they said when she arrived, her extremities were cold. That is on the
Well,
medical report.
I just don't. None of it made any. They said she was cold, but she had a strong bounding pulse. That in itself kind of doesn't make any sense. It can happen if her extremities can be cold, but where did you feel her pulse? Her extremities, or where did you feel her pulse? Did you do an apical pulse, which is her heart, like listen with a stethoscope, or did you feel her extremities for a pulse? Because I can tell you, if the extremities are cold, you're not going to get a bounding pulse. You might get it in the,
Mm.
you're not.
So they
You're not. We have a
lied.
hard, we can't even get, if we put an O2 saturation, the other nurse can testify to this, on somebody with cold fingers, it's not really going to pick up your oxygen saturation or even your pulse, which it should, because your hands are too cold. So it doesn't make any sense. It wasn't a very thorough. It was for someone who knows absolutely nothing about nothing medical. They're just very virginal to that. They probably could read that report and it would make sense to them. But I listened and I'm like, that none of that makes sense.
All right. Let me go to the next caller, and I have one more question for you, Sexy RN.
Okay.
All right. Jay, welcome. Can you do it in 60 seconds?
Yes, I can. I want to say also that you know, rules matter when you're wearing clothes. And I know I mentioned that you can't dress like a prostitute. I believe that she dressed like very scantily clad. And I believe when you know, there's other countries, they don't tolerate that. You understand? And I also know that when women dress a certain way, yes, some of their bodies have the body type where a guy is gonna hit on you anyway. But also men, we kind of treat women a little different based on how they dress. And I want to put this out there. You should be looked at as a pervert if your butt cheeks are showing and if you're showing different parts of your body. If we could see parts of your breasts and stuff, you need to be treated as a pervert, because children are out here and children could see your body. And if you're okay with being like this amongst children, which you don't know if they're going to come on the scene or not, because you're just living your life, doing you, going here, going there. You don't know if a child's going to come around. So you're a pervert. That needs to be understood. We need to have a different mindset. Because one time I was in a Whole Foods with my son, and I'm a single parent dad.
Got
And
10
I also
seconds.
one time I was in a Whole Foods, and this gay dude, he had everything practically showing. That's a pervert. So when you're a woman and you do it, or if you're a man, you're a pervert. There is no gender behind this. Cover your body up.
All right. All right. All right. So let's do this. That's it. We wrapped up the call section. We're going to go ahead and end. Y'all, this has been a very thorough conversation. I think the consensus is we strongly believe that there's evidence to support. We're not going what people wish and want us to believe. You got to be able to think outside the box. It's like listening to music. I tell people sometimes get yourself in a room and listen to music with no words. And they say, why, Queen? Because then you're in charge of your own thoughts. Music with words tell you what to think. I'm going to lead you. I'm going to guide you. I'm going to paint a narrative. And that's what's happening in Zanzibar as it relates to Ashlee Robinson. You're painting a narrative for me. You're driving me down a path that you want me to go. You're asking me to abandon any ounce of common sense, any ounce of professional medical experience, crime scene experience. For those of you that are tuned in, that are nurses, doctors, people that are following this story, Zanzibar is asking us, forget what you know, believe everything we're telling you. And what they're telling us just doesn't make sense. We can start before we get into the medical realm of him finding Ashlee. We can start before we see the initial medical report, whether it's false or true. Why are you walking into the room? In most resorts, no matter what country you're in, at night, people just don't come in your room. I'm sorry. You can't. Daytime, maybe. But when it comes to butler service, for those of you that don't know, butlers can't just walk into your room. When I went in October, I could hit do not disturb and I'm out of my room. Butlers can't even override that, even if I asked them to come. They would have had to have gone to get security clearance to override me wanting them to come when I have on a do not disturb electronically. So it just doesn't work that way. You pay high dollar for high security. Butlers, if butlers and regular folks can override the technology and the electronics that's in place, then why the hell are we paying top dollar? Does that make sense? Butler service goes from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. at this place. I've had butlers before, but I'm telling you, even if I asked them to come, depending on what light I have outside my room, they can't come. And I would recommend you don't go to Zuri Zanzibar. That if they just feel like, hey, this looks strange, it's 9 p.m., I'm going to come in your room. We have too many women that travel alone. We have too many girl groups that travel alone. I don't want you coming in my room. I'm glad he did, if what he says is true and he found Ashlee. But you mean to tell me you just get to override security and everything and come up in this mofo while I'm showering because I told you to come back? I could have fallen asleep. None of that sounds right to me. Sexy RN, my final question to you as a healthcare professional. Do you believe Ashlee died at the hospital or she died in that room?
At this point, I would say she died probably in her room. I hate to even go with that because this means that we have healthcare professionals who will, well, we know some people will blatantly lie, but she made up a whole entire story. So my question is Somalia Queen still here? Do we know what urgent care she went to? Do we know where she went?
I think
Where
she
she was
said it
supposedly taken?
in the last video. She said it in the
Was
last
it Med
video.
Express?
She said that she talked about how far. She said that they took her somewhere to a place with a K after urgent care.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going down a rabbit hole. I only asked because there's no way that she went to a hospital. They do have a Med Express in Pahe, Tanzania, but that also has a critical care. But these people who made up that story are not good professionals. They're people who probably have never worked in a critical care and don't know any better. So I would have to say he paid whatever hospital who are urgent care off to tell this blatant lie.
And
There's
that's
no
what her friend
way.
said. Yep.
Yes. That's what had to happen. If it didn't happen that way, if I was the family and if they're listening, if I were you, I would start backwards. I would start wherever that hospital is. I'm not waiting for that's just me. I don't play about mine. I'm not waiting for the US consulate. I'm gonna go there and I'm going to the hospital or urgent care and I'm putting pressure on them. I'm putting pressure on them about this medical record because it's obviously been falsified. So we're gonna start there. I will find an attorney there. I will get GoFundMe to get an attorney there or whoever can take this international case. And we're going to start backwards because they're going to have to admit either they lied or they were negligent. And I don't know which one they'd rather admit. But we can
I don't
start
think they're
there.
going
And
to
then
get the answer. I think you're going to have to put some money on the table. And I think the only
there's your,
question her parents are going to have to ask, don't challenge them because then they're going to get defensive. You're going to have to put some strong money on the table, maybe all of that 50K. So as a matter of fact, I would probably try to earn 3 times more than the amount that I've asked. You asked for 50K, I
right.
would ask for 150K. And I would walk in that mofo. Hell, P. Diddy paid 50K for a video to go away, only for it to resurface, 8 years later? But this is what I would do. I would walk in there and I would find the right person. And I would say, my only question is, did she come in here dead or alive? I got $50,000. Answer that. And I need the truth.
Right. That's a good idea. Start backwards. Start there.
Dead or alive. I don't need to know who. I just need to know, was she dead or was she alive? That's it. That's all. That's where I
And
would start.
but definitely start backwards. I mean, they can go to the resort, but they seem like they've already started. They have time. Look, today's the 19th, going on the 20th. There,
10
they're
days,
they
11
circled the
days.
wagon several times, so they have their whoever that butler, whoever they were trying to throw under the bus. He might not even work there anymore. We don't know where that person is.
And not only that, they're listening to us. You got to be a fool to
Right.
not think those people are tuned in and saying, oh, you forgot to do this. And listen, healthcare, listen, let me tell you something about, don't think everything that you see was done in that moment and notes were made in that moment. It's called backlogging. When people are not honest, any questions that you have, any pushback that you may have, they'll go back and say, hey, re-enter this note on this date. I just heard Queen Sheba's podcast. They got a cardiovascular ICU nurse. She want to know why we didn't intubate her. Go ahead and make a note and give it to the U.S. State Department and say you didn't intubate her because of this and this and that.
Oh, I would love to see that excuse, but we know that's a lie as well because they can tell that by the autopsy if she was intubated. because she would have trauma, a little bit of trauma to her trachea. So good luck. But they need to start there and see what's more important to them. And then it's a shame we have what is that organization? My brain is leaving me. That it seems like they do nothing internationally because this is really bad. But I also have to wonder why they're willing to cover up for this man. What else is going on there? Is
Money.
this about trafficking?
Money.
And right.
Trafficking is one of the most high generating profits in the world, not just the US. You're talking Epstein.
Right.
You're talking underground world. You're talking snuff. There was a social media clip of a Japanese man in a black neighborhood a couple of days ago that was trying to lure two little black girls into his car.
All that.
And a woman pulled up and said, "Let them go. What are you doing? You don't know them. They're in your neighborhoods. This isn't just happening international." We talked about it behind the wall. The reason why. I'm not going to say it out loud. I'll say it. This is one of the reasons. It's too many single parent households. You don't have men that can protect. You're easy targets. You're unmarried. And listen, hear what I'm saying. Oh, everybody's been not to the rate that we are. Y'all say we don't get coverage. We're trying to cover it. But you know why little black girls and boys go missing? Because there's no men in the house. Women can only do so much. Women can only push so much. A mother can't jump on a flight and go to Zanzibar. You need some men there. You need some men
Someone
with
said it's a Muslim country. That's very important.
Thank you. And I told y'all initially, I did my homework before I covered this story. And I said it's a high population of Islamic practices. That's not a negative, but that gives you a little bit more insight regarding the well-being of women. And y'all try to fight me on that. And I said, let me just back up off of it. I didn't just turn on my microphone and start talking. I try to get to know the culture, the percentages of who practices what, where's the hotel, who's the owner. We do that here before we jump on board. Y'all, I believe Ashlee Robinson, aka Ashlee Janae, died at that hotel. Tide, thank you for coming up. The beautiful young lady that came up the other day and said, "Queen," and I believe you may be from Zanzibar. I don't know, but you came in and you completely bust this case wide open. You said, ask them to show you proof when she was last alive. Ask the police commander to show you the video when she was last alive. And you said it like a fact. You said, if they can't do that, I'm telling you, she died in that room. I believe you. And that's why they moved Joe out. I believe you, ma'am. I believe Ashlee Janae died on that resort in that room. I strongly believe that the hotel didn't think it out, and that's why they had a knee-jerk reaction. And they tried to talk to Joe, who probably at first, before the U.S. State Department jumped in, Joe was the brains. Joe was the one calling the shots afterward. Let me call the mom. But Joe, you're not that fucking smart because we are 3 steps ahead of you. Final thoughts.
I just really hope they get over there and a DNA test. DNA test first and foremost. I'm sorry, until you tell me, until you prove to me that's who it is, because the body is decomposing right now. Probably wouldn't even recognize her face.
Oh my God. Why do you say that from a medical perspective? We wouldn't recognize her face.
Number one, we don't even, if it's her, we don't even know how she died. We have no idea. They say a mark around her neck. We know that whole thing is fake. We know it's not real. So we don't know how she died. She could have had trauma to her head, which even if it was around her neck, she probably did have trauma to her head as well. And then the decompensation of the body, if she laid around, which she probably did for, we don't know, 24 hours, 8 to 10 to 12 or whatever hours. We believe it happened on the 8th, and the night it wasn't reported till much later. She probably laid around for a while. So this means she was laying around a tropical environment. Even if it was you put on the AC, you're talking about humidity. That's not good for a body to preserve it. Dry cold is good for preservation. So, and it's been a week later.
Mm-hmm.
10 days later.
They could have set that Butler up. Well,
to take the fall.
To walk
if
in that
something
room.
jumps off.
Walk in that room to see that body. I believe, because if you think about it, hold on. How did we get to 4:55? The hospital said 4 hours later. 4:55 p.m. She went to the hospital at 8:55. The hospital documented this happened 4 hours ago. They could have set that butler up to walk in that room. Somebody is
Right.
innocent in this. I don't think all people are privy. There's no way you allow a lower level employee to be a part of the bigger scheme. Does that make sense? Somebody has to be a scapegoat. Somebody has to be tricked out of their spot. Period. That's why I think once the mom, you gotta come out. Like, we can't carry the story for Ashlee without your help. You came out, but you gotta give us some. I don't give a damn if you email me anonymously. We can't fight for a family that's not fighting. And I know people are saying don't judge the parents. I'm not, but you got to get in here with me. It's your daughter. Slip some freaking information to somebody. Otherwise,
Because she has key information. She knows what time Ashlee called her. If nothing else, she knows exactly what the phone call was about.
Yes. Mom, all that up stuff, that up righteous, that's not gonna get your daughter justice, girl. You gotta go low down dirty on these motherfuckers. Excuse my language, Mom. All of that prim and proper is not going to get her sent here. It's not gonna get her justice. You better play the game that the white folks are playing, because they're covering up your daughter's death. If you want to go balls to the wall, you better start leaking some stuff. Send me a screenshot of when Ashlee called you. Give me a transcript or something. Let it leak out in the orbits. It's your information, but you don't let your daughter die in vain by trying to play by the rules. There are no rules when it comes to this. That's all I'm saying. Hell, I'm pissed off now. You got to get in here. Don't sit back and relax and wait. Nobody's on your side. I don't care if you're married to a white man. It has nothing to do with that. And you may have trust in him. It ain't how the world works. Your daughter is still over there. And these are black folks that won't even release her body. Ma'am, you got to get down and dirty. You got to stand up. Now is not the time to stand down. You got to start reaching blogs. You better start talking. All that conservative stuff ain't going to work. I'm sorry. I said what I said.
Yeah.
What I said.
Queen,
That's
I
true.
understand, because watching that video, there was no emotion. I'm like, as a coming from a black family, girl, please, you leave for one night. We crying, we, going to look for you. We want answers.
Well, it
And
depends
like
on what she does for a living.
no, it does not. This is a woman, and she's unalive. So I don't care what her past is, what she did last year, what she did yesterday. She's unalived. The
No, I'm
story
talking about the
isn't.
mom. Some people have been in corporate and been on the other side too long. And Mom, I'm not trying to shade you. And they've been trained. They've
That's
been
true.
conditioned. They don't even
Let
know
the
it. They
system
have a level
work.
of freedom. Go ahead.
Yeah, let the system work. Let's use the system. We know that
Yeah.
it's not working. They've already circled the wagon multiple times. They're having time to cover it up. And the body is decomposing slowly but surely, and really probably
Mm-hmm.
not that slow.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing she should have been trying to do is get over there. Not, oh, I can't go because they're telling me not to. Who is telling you not to?
And I know people are saying no emotion. Emotion does not dictate an ounce of care.
Action.
Yeah. Like I said, depends on what she does for a living. She could be in law enforcement. She could see people die every day. Some people are just conditioned and trained by way of, it's like, when doctors come out and tell you you've lost a loved one and they're not crying. Well, that's my daughter. That's not some people. I'm just saying, black women don't all communicate the same. Not all of us are highly emotional. She could be breaking down at home, but ma'am, I'm just going to tell you how the game works out here in the real world. You probably never expected this to happen. But please don't play the game with them people, because people are going to quit. You heard somebody from Amsterdam. They're not even in Tanzania. They're saying they're not talking about Ashlee no more. If you want to keep your daughters alive, her legacy alive, you better start talking. You're not doing her any justice by sitting back, playing the game. Tosa, finish.
Yeah, I totally get that people grieve differently, but I'm just saying the signs aren't there. You had a conversation with this man. He asked for her hand in marriage. She called you, and she, let you all know that there was some type of fight. And like you said, now is not the time to hold back. Um, his financials, that people are saying, oh, well, she just wanted his money. I think people need to really take a look at this woman was already financially good. I feel like she just kind of aligned herself with somebody that she had, you know, no, she didn't realize that this man was in a financial situation and real deep. And when you're playing with big boys, the big boys, and you dealing with their money, or you're losing it, or they're not getting their investment, stuff like this happens.
And listen, if you've clicked the link and you're waiting to come up, y'all, we're not taking any more calls. I know I said it an hour ago. We're wrapping up with our medical professionals and people that are, I said specifically who I wanted to close out the conversation with me. Unfortunately, we're not taking any more calls. So if you just pulled up, you pulled up a little bit later in the show. We got to keep the flow of the conversation going. We're ending with our medical expert and our other panel expert, but we're not taking any more calls. It's not personal. We just not. And I know I said it and everybody heard. So thank you for those of you that didn't click. But if you're in the backstage, and we got quite a few people in the backstage waiting, unfortunately, I have to keep the flow of the show. We've been on for over 3 hours. And I do believe I've said we're wrapping up with our experts in our panel. Yeah. So I hope Ashlee Mom's hears it. And I know you got all these other people and don't say nothing. I'm sorry. Couldn't nobody tell me how to react when it comes to mine. Don't play the game. They want you to not say anything. You better think
And that's
about
your
Natalie
daughter.
Holloway's mama. Natalie Holloway's mama went over there again and again and again and again. They could not shut her up to the point she got a divorce. Even her husband wanted her to be quiet. And she said, hell no, it's my child. I gave birth to her, not you. I'll never shut up when it comes to Natalie. I'm gonna get mama, you gonna have to come with it now. Sorry. Go ahead, Tosa.
Yes, absolutely. So listen here, you guys. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. This is just an informative. We're just here in Queen Sheba. Thank you so much for always opening up the lines for real deep conversations. This is not the first investigation that you've been on and dissecting. I want to thank you for the resources. I want to thank the experts, the panelists that did come up and sound off. Once again, we just have to be mindful that there will be individuals that will say ignorant things, but we have to continue to use our voices, use our platforms to get this word out there. I totally agree with you. It's time for moms to start speaking up. You have a lot of support here and a lot of support around the world, and we just want to get down to the bottom of it. What happened to Ashlee? What happened to her in that room? This man, they were separated. Why were they separated? If you're separating, that means it's dangerous. How dangerous did it get? Thank you, Queen Sheba, for having me. Thank you, panelists. Once again, Queen Sheba, I appreciate you for always honing in on the psychological behaviors and of the Black experience. Thank you. See you next time.
All right. All right.
Sorry, can I say one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead. Yep. Go ahead. Can you hear me? Sexy RN? Yeah, go ahead. Can y'all hear me? Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Mic check. Huh. I need to do a mic check. Can anybody hear me? Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Damn. I guess y'all can't hear me. Okay. Sexy RN, you wanted to say something. So, y'all, the lines are closed. I see you. Listen, we're not coming up to argue with each other. We're not coming up to challenge each other. This is Trina. I see you, but I'm not gonna bring you up because we're ending on a high note. And I'm not saying you're ending on a. We gotta keep the show streamlined. Sexy RN has been working with us on this case from a medical perspective. She's the one that got y'all thinking and gave you the proper medical protocol regarding if the hospital said Ashlee was alive, they should have intubated her and protected her airway, and they didn't. We were okay with that. And just because you hear something that you don't agree with or don't like, we don't come up and challenge that. If I choose to go with them, okay? That's it. That's all. That's it. She's giving you her experience as a cardiovascular ICU nurse. She's telling you here's the ideal time to conduct an autopsy. If Ashlee sat in the tropics for hours on end, the body will begin to decay. If they left her in that room until they could get the story together, the hospital said. So before y'all come up to challenge people, that's why I tell y'all, listen to the hospital report. It said Ashlee didn't come in until 4 hours later of what the incident report stated. You said you found her 4 hours ago. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So listen, okay, watch this. I said it. Ashlee probably died between the hours of 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. Tanzania time. The call probably came in between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. from villa number 24. Ashlee was not transported to urgent care until 8:55 p.m. Joe did not make the call until 8 hours later. 9, 10, 11, that morning. Ashlee was already gone. That's it. That's all. And I got to go ahead and close out the show because I've already taken callers. And if I reopen the lines, it just doesn't have a clean finish. So I see everybody. I appreciate you coming, but we got to finish clean. And that's what I do over here. We finish on a high. That's it. That's all. So thank you, everybody. We're going to be following the case. And remember, this is about Ashlee and keeping her name going. But Mom, we need your help. We can't do it by ourselves. Thank you, everybody.